Hey, it's Monday. It's time to lock and load. Broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube from the biggest rock in the Pacific Ocean, not counting continents anyway, the Big Island. Uh, yes, so what you're seeing is a April Foster yelling at a police horse, and she was arrested for punching said police horse. I mean, this is the rationale of these are the Clinton people. Lady, I'm just a horse. Why are you yelling at me? I mean, really. She tried to scare the horse away by yelling at it. And when that didn't work, she punched it or slapped it in the face. And then she was arrested. I assume not by the horse, because that was a police horse. Anyway, when you're at the point of where you're yelling at horses, there's something wrong with you, you know. So I'm going to try and screen share the article. 1 second. All right, there it is. I'm going to try and read some of that if I can get back to the right page. See, I hope you can see that. You scroll down to the article. April Foster, a woman protesting outside a Donald Trump rally last weekend in Kansas City, was arrested on charges of striking a police horse. That's a pretty bad thing to have on your record. Every time you go ask and apply for a job, people look it up in your record and say, wait, you hit a horse? She'll just say, of course. Accused of slapping a police horse. Well, Zsa Zsa Gabor was accused of slapping a police officer, but that was Zsa Zsa. Outside a Donald Trump rally last weekend, shortly before officers released pepper spray on a crowd of protesters. 29-year-old was arrested about 5 p.m. Friday in the 9200 block of Ward Parkway and charged with abuse of a police service animal. I mean, if it wasn't so ridiculously, I mean, it'd be laughable. It is funny, but it's just, you know, Clinton people beating up animals. Foster was released after posting a $500 bond. They should just, you know, let the horse shit on her or something. Let the horse step on her foot. That's painful. Police had been searching for the woman who had hit the horse. The horse named Dan was hit while officers on horseback attempted to control protesters and keep them out of the street outside a Trump rally on March 12th in downtown Kansas City at 13th and Main Streets. According to the police report, the woman had first screamed in the horse's face to scare him. When that did not work, that report said the woman hit the horse with her open hand. Read the rest of the story here. Kansas City News article. I mean, that's just she had this mean look on her face, and the horse looks so passively non-aggressive. Why would you hit a nice horse? I mean, she's got this evil look on her face, and the horse has just minded its own business. You know, that's what the world has come to today. I mean, I don't know how to say the horses need to start packing heat. You know, the horses look calm and sedate. It's the people that are fucking animals. The horses are civilized, noble creatures, and it's look at that look on her face. That protester. I mean, Jesus, it's looked like she's got enough pain with raging inside her to like deliver a baby or something, and she's gritting her teeth. It's like, this animal must die. I mean, come on, man. So, Anyway, that's just, you know. Anyway, what else has been happening in the world today? I think Russian MiG had engine trouble and crashed into the Mediterranean Ocean off of Syria today. I don't think anybody shot it down. It launched off their aircraft carrier, the Russian aircraft carrier, the Admiral. It's something that begins with a K. I can't pronounce it. The Mediterranean. I think they're going to bomb the ever living shit out of Aleppo, and Putin called Trump or something to talk about it. Obama had a news conference to explain that everything he did was great, and you know, to try and shore up his legacy with a new press conference. Good luck with that. I'm sure. And some of the reporters were trying to egg him on into taking a shot at Trump. But he didn't bite. I received, as I think I was reading in the early watch show, I received some postcards from the Gun Owners of America that I could 3 postcards that I could send in to Donald Trump at Trump Towers, reminding him to fulfill his campaign promises about with regards to the Second Amendment. Just friendly reminders. And I've been doing my due diligence activism. I got letters back from our Hawaii F- U.S. Senator, F- by rating by Gun Owners of America, Mazie Hirono. I'm not going to read, but I got, had sent her a postcard on gun legislation from the Gun Owners of America. But I'm definitely going to be sending in my postcards. I'm not sure I could dig it up out of the stack. Oh, this looks like it. Or is this the renewal from... Oh, here it is. Let Trump know he must defend the Second Amendment. Donald J. Trump at Trump Tower, 725 Fifth Avenue, New York, 10022. Dear Mr. Trump, I'm just going to read you the postcards. They sent me 3 of them. They're exactly the same, so I guess I'm supposed to find 2 other people to sign it, send it in with their address on it. Dear Mr. Trump, it's not enough to just not be Hillary. It's not enough to just say you're pro-gun. You say all the right things, and you've hired great people. But it's not pro-gun to help the Democrats use TSA lists to disarm law-abiding Americans. Yeah, that's what on the letter I got from Mazie Hirono, she was talking about the terror gap, which is the theory that if they let people on the terror watch list, that somebody in the FBI put on this list that not buy guns, just because they put them on a list and they haven't been convicted of anything or had any chance to even know if they're on the list. There's no due process in that. You're supposed to have due process before you get deprived of your constitutional rights anyway. So anyway, to continue on the postcard, it says, so I am asking you in writing make it clear that you will oppose each and every attempt to limit gun rights, and that you will repeal each and every anti-gun Obama executive action. One way you can do this is by returning your Gun Owners of America candidate survey in 100% support of gun rights. So I guess Gun Owners of America sent him a survey and he didn't fill it out yet. I and 1.5 million gun owners the GOA represent will be watching for your response. All right. So I guess he didn't fill out a survey, so they want to send him a postcard telling to fill out his bleeping survey. Well, just lets him know we're out there. So I'll sign that one and mail it in, I guess tomorrow. I can walk down to the mailbox today. I picked up some silver that arrived pretty damn fast from JM Bullion. I ordered it on Friday when the price dipped. I ordered the starter pack, which they sold me 10 1-ounce rounds from Silver Sunshine Minting for the spot price exactly. No premium charge, just exactly the spot price. Of course, it went down on Monday a little more, so but there was no premium. Like if you buy a coin, there's usually even around there's usually some kind of premium to keep the retailer company give them some kind of profit to cover their overhead. But this was introductory one-time per household offer. So since it dropped some more, it's probably a good time to either, if you haven't started a stack, start out with spot price. You can't go wrong buying at spot uh, if you buy on the dips. But hey, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy on YouTube that buys guns, ammo, does preps, and occasionally buys silver and gold. So added that and a deal, the JM starter pack and 10-ounce deal at spot, and I think $1 silver from JM Bullion. There's a link on gunchannels.com/prepper for that. And if anybody has any good prepping links, that might be a good place to, if you're on Gun Channels, which is free to join, you could go on there and sign up for that. Looking for people to post a lot more prepper stuff, just because we won the election and, there's going to be a lot of shit going on. I mean, Trump's got to negotiate with like every country is going to be knocking on the door saying, and saying that you don't really want to cancel out our trade deals, do you? And so they're all going to try and get our president-elect's ear on that one, and hopefully, nothing goes crazy where we need our preps. But I think under the next preps I'm going to be working on myself is going to be I need a gas mask and some filters. I want at least one of those, and I need to get into comm preps. I know Hashnazi posted a link for his crash course in radio communications, ham radio, just tiny. He has some $30 and $50 units that you could get, bottom basement. And boy, I saw one by Comms Prepper where he has like this unit for a Yaesu. Somebody built a custom like 50 caliber ammo can deal container where it has like a base station with fans, and it's like where you just put the radio in, and it has all kinds of wiring, and it's worth checking out. He just posted a new video. Comms Prepper has it's more detailed than Hashnazi's, but Hashnazi's what he posted is a great place to start. And because going with what Comms Prepper posted would cost a lot more money. And one thing that Hashnazi had was a book on where to a link for a book on, because to take the test to get a technician's license, I believe, which is like the starting bottom level. Because if you want to press the talk button, you need it on your radio. I mean, listening is just great. On my Hawaii Volcano Squad channel, by the way, I have an announcement. If you're on the Big Island or pretty much anywhere in the country, I posted on my main page. There's like the picture of the Tavor, and on the far right, there's a Broadcastify page of the dispatcher for fire, police, Coast Guard, and emergency management dispatcher. And you can listen in on police calls. Like, for instance, last night, the Ultimate Burger had a propane fire, on the gas tank. So although I don't go to Ultimate Burger, I do sometimes visit the Taco Del Mar next door to get a taco salad, but or to talk to the pretty Mexican girls there. But it's useful to know what's going on, in your neighborhood. And I think Broadcastify has emergency dispatch for police and fire for everywhere in the nation. The link I posted was just for the Big Island of Hawaii, but you could go on to Broadcastify and find your emergency dispatcher. Uh, if you're in the Big Island, you could just click on the bottom on the T4 on the bottom right. There's the link to punch up the emergency broadcaster. So if you're, got your computer up, you could just click on that link and bookmark it and or not, or just go to my YouTube page, even better. And then you could hear the emergency dispatcher and keep track of what's happening. If there's a fire or any big activities, you do have to learn some police codes. I did notice that the levels seem to be all over the place. Some levels are super quiet, some levels are way too hot, and sometimes it's like you need a squelch button almost, and the whole thing should be put on a compressor to even out the levels. But and the white noise sometimes is just, or the alert tones are just way too loud. But still, it's a pretty useful tool, especially as a prepper, to know what the emergency services are responding to in your area. Let's see. I'm going to see what's happening out there. There is a join link on the video description and in the gunchannels.com/HVS. If I can get back to that page. There I see it. All right, so Dead Horse is having a rock concert at his house with 3 kids running around. He's over there. I don't know what kind of music 3 kids play running around Dead Horse's house, but this is the horse chat, I guess. Poor horse Dan got slapped by a, anti-Trump protester. What did the horse do to deserve to get slapped by that April Foster chick? Jeez. Anti-Trump protester charged with hitting a police course. Abuse of a service animal. There are just so many ways you could make a joke of that, but I'm not going to. So Breitbart, I guess that one of the guys that runs Breitbart is going to be one of Trump's top advisors. It'll be interesting to see how his cabinet fills out over the next in between now and the inauguration day. And then on the 21st, we'll have a pro-gun president, and hopefully thereafter a conservative nominee. And my folks are in Arizona, where people are free to carry, a firearm, but hopefully soon the entire country will be free, and not just some states, but all of them. And that would be a very important occurrence if we can get to that point, because the whole nation should be free, not just Arizona or Texas or Nevada or one country, one state, but all of them. In fact, the whole world should be free. But if we can just stick to our own constitution, and that's a good place to start with our country. So if you haven't joined the Gun Owners of America or the Second Amendment Foundation or Firearm Policy Coalition or the NRA, it's a great, or Florida Carry, it's a great time because now is when they're really going to need help money-wise because they have a lot of legislation and a lot of litigation on cases that they've been waiting to file appeals on until there's the Supreme Court, there's a conservative pro-gun majority there that will actually listen to the cases and vote our vote, give us back our rights that a lot of people in certain states have been deprived of, and get rid of some of these infringements. And people were talking about repealing part of the Hughes Act. I know G Webs was talking about that. I'm not up to speed on it, but maybe on Every Second Matters, this chat on Every Second Matters website, and on Gun Channels December 2nd, they have a chat the 2nd of every month, and we can get some updates on what's happening there. So I think everybody on Gun Channel should definitely be, as active, even, I mean, the election was a big thing and everybody is like burned out. I get that. I'm burned out. I couldn't possibly go on with any more election crap, with people being mean to horses and shit. But not to mention each other. But I think it's time to I mean, I like that meme that came up. It's time to get busy and because we've only got a few hundred days with a Republican president and a Republican Congress until the next election. So all these people like this are going to be busy trying to vote Republicans out of office. But I think they had their chance. I'm not sure what it's going to be like on the next election as far as whose whose seats are going to be up for grabs uh, on the next congressional election. Um, but if you haven't joined, sign up for those organizations because you know, even if it's you only send them $20, they need it. Filing litigation isn't, lawyers cost money, and even if they work for free, they run up bills. They got expenses, they got offices, they have, clerks they got to pay, court costs, filing fees. It's kind of an industry. The Second Amendment, that mill, lawyer grist mill. But I guess we got to help those Second Amendment Foundation and all those people that you see and all the filing organizations filing the appeals in the appellate courts and the Supreme Courts. So I think that's going to be a pretty most important thing that we can do right now. Other than that, let's see what else is happening around our world. I think the Lakers actually lost the basketball game last night to the Minnesota Timberwolves. My folks are traveling through Arizona. They visited a ghost town, Jerome, on the way from Flagstaff to Prescott, where they're staying at tonight. I think they spent a couple night at the Comfort Inn in Flagstaff, and they really like the high mountains up there in Arizona. And they said everything looked so clean up there. They looked at some mall and there wasn't any graffiti, there wasn't any. It's just they said, "How old is this mall? It looks brand new." And they said, "No, it's a 10-year-old mall." And just compared to California, it's just in really great shape. So I don't know, a lot of retirees in that community. But they said property was real estate was relatively inexpensive there, compared to California or Hawaii. But obviously there aren't as many industries up there. It's kind of a country-ish atmosphere. Gets cold in the winter, though, I hear. And they're going to be in Tucson tomorrow, visiting a cousin. And he said he met some guy who was in the Navy who was in a bar that was packing a 6-gun and then was in a cowboy costume or something like that. So it just seemed like Prescott seemed like an interesting place. They seemed happy to be there, and but they couldn't find a parking spot in Jerome because they would have had to park a mile downhill from where the town was and then walk uphill for a mile. And my dad's 83 and he's got a bad back, so he didn't think he could make it. So they just kind of drove through slowly. But I expect to get a lot of pictures from him from Arizona. And he likes it a lot there. He's been there before. He's visited Tombstone. But I'll wait to see his pictures from his little vacation drive through Arizona. Let's see. Not a whole lot happening in the gun community. I'm going to actually check a few things there. If anybody wants to jump in, there's a join link on the video description. Check the news feed, see what I've got going on. Ooh, Stealth Gear has a Veterans Day giveaway. Ballistic was asking about inside the waistband holsters. Got a giveaway for veterans of some kind going on. Veterans Day giveaway. Please send us a photo and short description of a veteran that you would like to publicly recognize. We will select random 8, and each will receive a $100 gift card to their site. Yeah, they make pretty damn good inside the waistband holsters, but they are expensive. I think I have some videos of it, of some in a couple of my recent videos. I didn't make one that says Stealth Gear USA holsters, but my Zombie Glock video and I think my Fox Company prepping video response video had a little bit on showing that inside the waistband holster. Let's see what else is going on. Brownells has a sale on AR products. Not too much. Mint guide. I think I got a $50 gift certificate from Tommy Bahama. They make pretty nice Hawaiian shirts. So yeah, I've been pretty much taking it easy and dealing with medical stuff for all week. Blizzard's trying to get me to get back into Warcraft. Just looking at my email, that's not going to happen. Gun Broker sent something about veterans. Fort Moultrie, the Fort Sumter National Monument, the United States Mint. They've got the beautiful coin series that are like 5-ounce coins. I think the U.S. Mint has a sale on those. Mako Group has a Black Friday sale starting now. Not too much happening, really. Just a few sales. Black Friday's coming up, so you might be able to get a deal on a knife or some gun accessory if you look carefully. I don't know. I think I'm pretty all good to go. I made a deal to get some work done, some help assembling my rifle target from the manager where I live. He's got some tools and a workbench, which I don't have. Need to attach like a 2x4 piece of wood to a 2x4 metal thing that they sent with it. I need to pre-drill a guide. Basically, it comes with a big screw and a kind of hole that you drill a screw in and a washer to attach it to a 2x4 piece of steel. So when you hit the rifle target, it doesn't just eat into the wood and just destroy your 2x4. So those shoot steel targets do require some assembly. And my Makita doesn't quite cut it. It's like a 30-year-old battery in there. So anyway, I'll get it done tomorrow, I hope. Fixing the light fixture. Not too much exciting happening this week for me. I mean, just trying to keep up on everybody's YouTube feeds. I've noticed that a lot of my subscribers just have fucking awesome channels, and they just are absolutely kick-ass people. They're not just. I don't want my channel to be just like a chat only channel. I like producing creative videos. I mean, at some point I'd like to have some kind of contest for like the best gun video or something, and put together some batch of prizes and have some kind of contest like that. Or at least sponsor one on gun channels or something, because those things take a lot of creativity and time and effort to produce. But they're a lot of fun. I know it's really good. Part of why I like doing stuff is just creative. Making videos and coming up with creative ideas. Uh, just all chat channels get kind of boring over time, and how many outrageous things can you say and argue about with people online? But the real world is, crazy enough. Don't need to add unnecessary. Boy, there's some there's some crazy stuff on the internet though about the news. I don't know. It's hard to figure out what channels are just Russian propaganda, which channels are American propaganda, and which channels are just ranting and raving half the time. Um, but there's a lot of good prepping people out there who are just into prepping. There's a lot of good bushcraft people that are into bushcrafting, and I like but what I try and do as I go through YouTube is try and pick really interesting people to subscribe to, and sometimes they subscribe me back, and sometimes they don't. But I've got a lot of kick-ass subscribers, so um, just wanted to say thank you to everybody out there for that. I'm going to take a look at what's going on. I haven't been checking the YouTube side too much. I just see Dead Horse and gun channels, and that's about it. So let's see. Obama continues to send tanks and troops to Russia. I don't think so. He may be sending it to the Russian border. I don't think he's actually sending them into Russia. Let's see what the Russian propaganda page has to say is going on. I think I'll call it Russian propaganda from now on, but it's the Duran. It's got a pro-Russian, and there's nothing wrong with Russian propaganda. It's just the same as American propaganda, except it's Russian. So, you read it. Let's see. Confirmed. Putin-Trump summit coming. Kremlin summary of telephone conversation between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump confirms that a summit meeting is in the works. When the two meet, they will have a full agenda, but their markings of a deal are there. Well, I hope we can just manage to avoid World War III. That would be nice. Beyond that, we don't have to agree with everything they do. Yeah, trending. Let's see what's trending on the Duran. You can either click on their latest videos or trending. I try and get, news from a wide variety of sources. And I guess the Duran is like reading, I guess, what used to be Pravda. Nobody reads Pravda anymore. It may still exist on the internet somewhere, but I don't think anybody actually reads that. It's one of those things that became a Cold War historical relic. Is it too early for Russia to rejoice over President Trump? I don't know. Let's see out there. I think I'm going to find a different news source. Yeah, Sputnik. That ought to be as Russian as you can get. Oh, hey, I wanted to encourage everybody to go to Edge of the Week's chat on Friday. He's got a pretty good channel chat. And not just I'm not saying that because I try and be on it every week. That would be a reason enough for me to say it. No, he's been on gun channels forever. And he's been doing broadcasts and product reviews forever. It's nice to get perspective from Texas sometimes, you know. Silver. So silver and gold took a dump today in the morning. It was under $17, and I think it rose over $17 by the end of the day, or at least now it's over $17, but not by much. This is as low as silver has been for quite some time. I was busy out today dealing with some medical stuff. Had an appointment with a doctor, a dentist, kind of a doctor, kind of a thing. So I don't want to make everybody feel sympathetic dental pain, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Let's see. Come on, let me get on to Sputnik, see what they're saying. Oh, UK Defense Journal. How about that one? Britain to deploy rocket artillery to the Russian border. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a cool picture. Let me screen share that. Not even sure what the hell that is. So yeah, British. I think in last week's show we showed off some British Challenger tanks that are going to be deploying to Estonia, one of the Baltic states, and so this is a controversy. I think Putin wants Trump to get NATO to pull all the tanks out of the Baltic states, but the Baltic states joined NATO. So, well, I'm sure that we would not be happy if Russia had tanks on the U.S. border. Really, 100 tanks aren't a threat to anybody. I mean, the Russian has thousands and tens of thousands of tanks. Like 100 tanks is just a speed bump for Russia. It's a significant speed bump, but you don't want to hit it. You don't want to run into 100 Leopard tanks, but you don't want to run into 10,000 Russian tanks either. So hopefully they can diplomatically defuse this thing without making a mess. But since the problem is Russia has been practicing with their military the invasion of the Baltic states, so naturally that makes the Baltic states nervous. And then it makes NATO nervous, and then NATO responds, and then the Russian propaganda machine starts, and then the NATO propaganda machine stuff starts. So Trump is going to get all these reports and have to figure out how to deal with it. And obviously, diplomacy is cheaper than war is. War is very expensive in lives and treasure. But I'm not sure what kind of a rocket launcher that is. Defense Secretary Michael Fallon confirmed the UK will be sending 800 personnel to Estonia, France, with France and Denmark contributing further troops. We will work harder for our alliances and partnerships when we leave the EU because we are committed to the defense of the continent. That is why we are moving troops to the NATO mission in Estonia, accompanied to Poland in an RAF Typhoon fighter aircraft to the Black Sea. The M270 is an armored self-propelled multiple rocket launcher type of rocket artillery. The first M270s were delivered to the U.S. Army in 1983. The MLRS has been adopted by several NATO countries. Some 1,300 M270 systems have been manufactured in the U.S. and Europe, along with more than 700,000 rockets. The production of the M270 ended in 2003 when the last batch was delivered to the Egyptian army. The guided multiple launch rocket system has twice the range of other artillery systems used by the British Army. Within the British military, a common nickname is Grid Square Removal System, a play on the initialism GSRS from the older General Support Rocket System. With the adoption of the new M30 GPS-guided rocket, it is now being referred to as the 70-kilometer sniper rifle. 70 kilometers, huh? And during the 1991 Gulf War, the Iraqis referred to the small M77 sub-munitions rockets as the Steel Rain. The rockets can fire up to 12 rockets in less than 60 seconds. Well, it looked cool. It looks cool, and it costs a lot of money, and it shoots rockets. Where can I get one? Gun channels, we need our own rocket launcher. At least the Hawaii Volcano Squad. Are those like two red fire extinguishers on there, or is that something else on the side under that yellow light? It probably goes beep beep when you back it up, just like the trash truck does. Is that fucking annoying? Well, it looks cool. I wouldn't mind having one. Anyway, so that's what Russia and Trump, Putin and Trump are going to have a meeting about, that and a bunch of tanks. Let's see. Bushcraft stuff. Well, as soon as my foot gets better, I'm going to try and camp out tonight. I think is a supermoon night, by the way, in case you haven't gone out to see the moon. It's going to be super. It passes the closest to the planet Earth. And so it'll get as big as it'll ever get. I think it's the closest since 1948 tonight. So get out there tonight if you can manage to walk around or drive around somewhere where there's not too many city lights. And if it's not too cloudy, get a good look at the moon. Step out and smell the roses sometimes. And for God's sake, stop slapping horses. You crazy people out there. Horse slappers. So I'm going to see if anything's happening on the crazy Debka site. Unless there's a Sputnik news. Let's see if there's anything on Sputnik first. Save Debka's the last resort. Right. Let's see. Home. Sputnik International. International Criminal Court says CIA, U.S. forces in Afghanistan committed torture. Well, that's pretty rich coming from a Russian news source. I bet they didn't report any damn thing on torture when the Russians were there. All right. Oh, yeah. Here was a news story I was mentioning earlier. A Russian MiG-29 crashes the Mediterranean after takeoff from the carrier. There's a MiG-29. I'm sure they hacked into, stole the plans for the U.S. fighters and figured out how to make it work better. Judging from our F-35 problems and the concurrency report that everybody knows so well. Let me click on this news story here. Pilot of the M29 fighter jet ejected. His life is not in danger. According to the ministry, technical fault was the reason for the incident during a training mission. Let me see if I can make a stab at pronouncing the name of their Russian aircraft carrier. The Admiral Kuznetsov. I think I need to take a shot of vodka before I pronounce that correctly. Kuznetsov. I don't have my vodka. Wait, I do have my vodka. But I don't have a glass, so I'll just have to swig it straight from the bottle. Fuck. It's 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 1.75 liters. All right, I'm going to take a shot of vodka and maybe I'll pronounce it correctly. 1 second. Prost. Jesus, this is a big bottle. the American vodka from the Kirkland brand. Shit. I think I originally got this to use to do the wood stain on my AK wood furniture. Dissolve the Rit dye crystals for the scarlet red dye. 1 sec. Woo! That is vodka. Damn. All right, let's give it another shot. Russian MiG-29 jet crashes in the Mediterranean Sea after taking off from the Admiral Kuznetsov. That sounds Russian. Kuznetsov. Aircraft carrier cruiser, the Russian Defense Ministry said. Yeah, I do speak Russian better with vodka. I think you have to be drunk to be Russian. Which reminds me. When my parents were bugging out, my grandparents were bugging out after the Nazis overran Poland and they were in Warsaw. And they finally snuck across the border into Russian, and they got scooped up by the all the refugees got scooped up, or most of them, by the Russian border guards. They said, well, you have a choice. You can go, there is no more Poland, so we can send you back to where you came from, and you can reclaim your citizenship as part of Germany, which, being Jewish, was probably not a super wise idea, since they were throwing them in ovens, into gas chambers, or just machine gunning them, and after they dug their own graves. But they didn't really want to waste bullets, because bullets cost money. So, or you can either go back to Germany, or you can, or German-controlled Poland, which, since they had a deal, they said go back to Germany, or we'll do you a big favor, and if you want to become Russians, you can become a Russian instead. And after about 1 second, my grandmother, Yetta, stood up in front of like 100 Russian border guards, military, right? She said, but I don't want to be a Russian. And, which caused a bit of consternation amongst all these Russians. So, basically they got sent. Well, if she didn't want to go back to Germany and she didn't want to become a Russian, then, you just volunteered for the Russian labor camps. So they sent my grandparents to, my mother had not been born yet. My uncle, Mark, he was sent to, put on a train and sent to a kind of a labor camp. It was like a gulag in the Archangel Forest in Siberia. And I won't go into the rest of the story, but it's when you bug out, basically you're just you go from labor camp to labor camp, so, but that was an interesting story. But I don't want to be a Russian. My grandma Yetta. She was an amazing person. And so was my grandfather Abraham. But anyway, a very amazing person. That was a bug out from hell, let me tell you. So we got our Sputnik news in there. At least they didn't blame the Americans or the Israelis or anything. The fucking plane fucking didn't work. The fucking shit didn't work. And it crashed. How embarrassing. On November 12th, the commander of the Admiral Kuznetsov said that AEA-based jets, whatever that means, of the aircraft carrying, God, I keep having to say that name, Admiral Kuznetsov, which arrived in the Syrian coast. They can't even get their conjugation of the sentences right. Come on, Sputnik. Heading, I guess if you mess up your conjugation, you sound more Russian that way. AEA based jets of the aircraft carrying cruiser Admiral Kuznetsov, which arrived in the Syrian coast, supposed to be off the Syrian coast. Fucking prepositions. They don't learn prepositions. Heading a group of Russian Northern Fleet's squadron started training flights. You're supposed to train before you get into the combat area, you fucking morons. I swear, two ISIS people with rowboats could probably sink this carrier. I mean, there's a difference between having an aircraft carrier and actually having a fleet that is trained and expert in, carrier combat tactics, carrier group combat tactics. I refer everyone to my RIMPAC Victory at RIMPAC 2014 video, where there was a nice peaceful assembly of all the nations that accept Russia off of Hawaii, the coast of Hawaii. They have it every other year. Russia should try and get an invitation to that so they could learn how a carrier battle group actually works, because they're fucking clueless. It helps to have a naval tradition, and naval officer corps that actually knows carrier combat group, how to run one. Oh, they're doing their anti-submarine drills. On October 15th, Russian Northern Fleet Press Service said that groups of warships headed by the aircraft... How many times am I going to have to say this damn name? Why can't they pick admirals with simpler to pronounce names? Why don't they just call it the Admiral Vodka and Cran or something? The Admiral Vodka. I'm just going to call it the Admiral Vodka from now on. Fuck it. Okay, a group of warships headed by the aircraft carrying cruiser Admiral Vodka, accompanied by the... Jesus Christ, another Russian word. Pyotr Veliki. Pyotr Veliki. A leaky Potter battle group. Battle cruiser. The Severomorsk and a Vice Admiral Kulikov anti-submarine destroyer and support vessels were sent to the Mediterranean to hold drills. Now, the reason they need those anti-submarine destroyers to protect their carrier is because Israel, and not to mention Turkey, but Israel especially, has a lot of those new Dolphin, German-built Dolphin submarines, which are absolutely excellent attack submarines. They're state-of-the-art diesel attack subs. Run silent, run deep. The MiG-29K, NATO reporting the name as the Fulcrum D, is Russia's new carrier-based fighter jet designed for destroying surface and ground targets. The jet has been modernized to 4th generation. Well, maybe they can figure out how to make it stop crashing into the ocean next time. Because that's not the kind of article you want to impress your enemies, that you lost a jet and it crashed into the ocean. I mean, come on, guys. If you're going to be our adversary, at least be a competent adversary. There's no honor in killing somebody who launches an aircraft off an aircraft carrier and it just crashes into the ocean. What's the point in shooting you down if you can't even launch off your own carrier? But I think that's a great... The fact that they sent anti-submarine, screening ships with their fleet is a great compliment to German submarines that are, they sold a lot. Turkey has a lot of them, and Israel has lots of them. Well, a few. For a country like Israel, that's basically their only deep blue water capable ship, those subs. And they are very, very capable submarines. Not only, and they're also, for Israel, they're reported to have Popeye cruise missiles with nuclear capable warheads. So it's a second strike capability for the nation. So Putin has to play nice with Israel. You know, they're a strategic asset, those subs. You can't just have a one-dimensional or two-dimensional, Air Force. And Israel has a good Air Force. They have a good army, but their Navy, until they got those subs, it wasn't anything to write home about. But now that they have them, that kind of brings them up to a multi-dimensional threat in their military, and you don't want to be one or even two-dimensional. So, hey, is anybody out there in the chat, or can I keep ranting and raving? Oh, it's Sophie from Canada.
I'm trying to fix my headphones here. Just give me a sec.
How are things in the great up north?
Raining.
Raining.
Yeah, it calls for like Gore-Tex and wool.
Gore-Tex and wool.
Yeah, wool on the inside, Gore-Tex. You have to have like Gore-Tex boots, Gore-Tex pants, and a good Gore-Tex jacket to live in the alone world. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like winter is like rain. It's just rain. Didn't you see the first season of Alone?
No.
Where they get dropped off on the island and then they tap out. There was some LEO guy tapped out like the first night after some bears were like prowling around.
I watch the Alaska Last Frontier show sometimes. So, but I believe you if you say it's snowing and cold. I mean, it doesn't snow there.
No snow. We don't get snow here.
Really?
It's very. Oh yeah, it's rare. Like think like Seattle, but like just north of that, right? Like we're like I can see
You're on Vancouver Island.
Yeah. On the.
I was there once when I was a kid.
Really?
Took a boat ride there. Yeah, I took a boat there from I think Seattle.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
I don't remember. I think I was like 12 at the time, and so that was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, so we're both island people.
Well, Vancouver's a damn big island, though. I mean, if I
correctly. It's huge. A lot of people think, oh, you're on a little island, like no, no. It's a huge chunk of land that's split off from Canada and the States, because you could see where it would fit in to the top of Washington State too, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember my geography. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So what have you been chatting about so far?
Somebody hit a horse. An anti-Trump protester was arrested for hitting a horse. Here, let me.
No, for F's sakes, are we allowed to am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, go ahead. Here's the picture of she was arrested, April Foster, for hitting a police horse.
What is wrong with these people? Like it's like these SJWs that are like it's like they and the weird thing about it is what I can't figure out is that they get on shows like with like Fox or whatever, and they're like, well, if all these rich 1%ers, would get taxed more, then they could pay for our education. I'm like, hey, I thought you guys were like all for like bucking the whole system, and yet you still want to suck off the teat of the system. Like, which is it? Like make up your damn mind. Or, oh, sorry, they can't make up their mind because they're taking social justice courses in the colleges, which is dumbing them down further. Keep drinking the Kool-Aid. Keep drinking the fluoride, and let's see where it goes. Like, I also heard someone set fire to a neighbor's house.
Isn't this just a great meme? This was a popular meme this weekend.
Lady, I'm just a horse. Why are you yelling at me? Holy shit. Yeah, like look at her face though. She looks like she's on a mixture of like speed, crack, and some kind of medication that, like yeah.
Cocaine, something,
Yeah,
some kind of
like
thing mixture that I don't know.
but there's so much vitriol and hate and like and just stupidity. Did you see those? There's those chicks there. They were like free the nipple, and they lift up their shirts and they've got their nipples taped, or like band-aids over them in an X. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. How is that freeing the nipple if they're like hiding under these pieces of tape? You know?
They lost me, but I
Oh
saw a
yeah,
picture of one of those girls doing that, and in like a voting area, and there was a guy trying to vote, and he's just looking up while he's trying to cast his vote, and he didn't understand what the hell was happening.
it's just I'm just looking at. Do you know there's going to be a rally in Toronto? Like that's like
For
in,
what?
in a big. That's a huge city in Canada for people that don't know, right? Uh, it's an anti-Trump rally in Canada.
Well,
I know. I was stunned too. Like I saw this. They already have it set up. I saw it on. It's on the news. It's on. It's in articles and everything. They have it all
course.
set up for those Canadians that feel disenfranchised from what our neighbors are going through in the South. That our neighbors to the south of us, we can join in on all the fun too. It's like, are you flipping kidding me? Like,
Yeah, let's riot and burn down Toronto because Trump won the election.
because
It's not even your country. What do you
because
care?
Toronto crickets. It's this is what I'm saying. It's gone to this point of insanity that it really doesn't need to. And what is Soros paying them now? Soros paying them what? It was 15 to 18 bucks an hour.
To protest?
Yeah, and now it's what? It's up to 35. I
He
think
needs
I
to send that horse a check.
the lot. Yeah, why
The
isn't
horse's
the
name is
horse
Dan.
getting paid? The
Well,
poor
his name is
horse.
Dan. He's a police horse. She was charged with abuse of a service animal.
See, he should be getting like extra carrots and sugar cubes and what else do horses like besides hay? But he should be getting treats, a massage therapy. Like the horse should be like he should be going to like a horse spa or something. You know what I
He
mean?
needs therapy to try and understand why some humans are yelling at him and hitting him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he does not look. You look at it. He's got his. You can see his teeth or her teeth. I don't know if it's a girl horse or a boy horse, but anyways, but you can see the horse's teeth like a little bit bared. Like, you about the horse? It should be an attack horse, and the horse. Because I mean, if you got bit by a horse, like there's chunks of flesh coming off there. I don't care how you slice and dice it.
A horse weighs a lot. They can just either one, run you over, or two, step on your foot.
Yeah.
They are heavy. If all they have to do is step on your foot.
Yeah. Well, that cop actually could have just pulled on the reins and kind of made the horse rear up and, and just like really.
The hoofs.
Yeah. And really hoofed her,
You fuck with a horse, you get the hoofs.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I'm sure they must. I'm sure the cops must teach the horses. I know they do for our illustrious RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, meaning they were on horseback because back in the day when these
they need to just give the police like the armor and a lance and just run all those people down.
Yeah, but you know what they're doing though? Like, do you hear them on? I mean, I saw the LA ones, and it's like there's like cops there standing, and they've got shorts on. Really? I mean, I saw like you see the G20 summits, and these guys are out full riot gear. You can't even tell that they're cops. They look military. You know, they
Well,
got
that's
the
California,
water
though.
cannons and everything going off.
They
And
were probably having a tofu pizza from Pizza Emporium, or no, California
yeah.
Pizza Kitchen,
Oh,
and
don't start talking Pizzagate. Oh, don't start going down that rabbit hole.
Pizzagate. I didn't know there was a controversy about pizza.
Oh shit. Really?
I missed it. Sorry, I've been.
You didn't follow that bunny hole with the whole Clinton email WikiLeaks thing?
I think 2 or 3 weeks before the election, I had mailed in my absentee voter ballot, and I just, I started watching the Weather Channel. They had Escape the Election on, where they just showed pictures of mountains and horses eating grass in the meadows, and
Oh wow, so you did the whole escape the yeah, but you know, we could just sit here on nice fluffy pillows and navel gaze and everything. Not to like I don't blame you for like escape the election thing because I mean that was just what a you know, and it still is a shit show. It still is a shit show as represented here by these nonstop riots. I'll just say it. They're riots. Because I mean, even these commentators, you know, from helicopters and everything, going over the scenes like the news choppers, you know,
uh-huh.
and they're saying, "Oh, look at you know the protesters just want to be heard. They're just exercising their First Amendment rights, and we all have a right to do that." And la la la. And then you don't see the shit from the ground where you know buddies are like tagging people's businesses, smashing car windows. You know, it's like it's like they're really fluffing it up, and then really at the end of the day, you know, and I didn't see nothing about the one protester pulling a gun on protesters in Seattle, on his fellow protesters. Seriously.
Well, I saw the picture uh, the protester, I think in Seattle, that had a keg of beer mounted on his bicycle and was giving out free beer.
It's like, yeah, this is all legal, right? Yeah,
No, it's
really?
not. No, you can't legally, sell beer
No, but
without
I'm just saying, like, none of I thought you have to have a I thought you had to like warn the police ahead of time, like fill out a thing, a forms to say this is where our rally is going to go down this street, down that street, you know, and they're not going to allow it to go onto a highway and cut off traffic for hours. Like seriously, you know, but they allowed it. They allowed this to happen and not and on more than one occasion. It's almost like they've got carte blanche
Yeah, the
to
you know the well, Seattle is a pretty, you know, uh, I don't know, I don't know. It's like a drug haven, the whole town of Seattle. I mean, it's like all the druggies go there, and there's a lot of, people that just, it's a drug community in the center of town, as far as, people just hanging out, living, on the streets, and, just smoking crack, or
you can say
crystal.
that about a lot of cities these days, you know, up here too. But the thing is, well, it wasn't like that during the G20 protest. There was people exercising their I'm doing air quotes here their their Second Amendment rights to, you know, their First Amendment rights to peacefully assemble and you know, and it's like what uh, and you see the difference between those the cops at those and then the cops the way they behave at these. There's big huge difference. Like they were given these cops are given a different playbook.
Well, I don't think they have a jail big enough to hold all the protesters, but if they want to send them all to a FEMA camp, that would be the next step. So, if
That's what they did in Toronto for the G20 summit there. They
was it
actually had a building that they had sequestered and they had it already all set up with cages inside, with like fencing inside to fence off everybody separately. They had the, porta potties, everything. Yeah, they had it all ready to go. So knowing that these riots, I'll call them, were already set to happen,
Well, I
and
saw
they
that
could
Queen
easily.
Elizabeth did make a speech offering to take America back into the British Commonwealth if we got tired of democracy. So,
Yeah, well, there's enough celebrities that want to move, but tell them, just tell Americans not to move up here. We,
you
we're
know,
we're we're nice and quiet up here, and
yeah, the day of the election results came in, the Canada's immigration website server crashed twice. All the liberals
yeah,
that wanted to move, they literally crashed their immigration server twice.
yeah, like people think they can just walk up to the border and say, "Hi, I'm American. I don't like it here anymore, and can you please take me in?" No, that doesn't happen like that.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
well, I mean, if you hit, you can take Whoopi Goldberg. I think she wants to leave.
No, we don't want her. We don't want Whoopi. No, sorry.
She's
And we
got
don't want
money.
no feminazis. And we don't want. No, we don't want all these crying. Millennials. God love them. The millennials. But I love young people. But really, like, get a grip. Be responsible for yourself. Get over it. They did the same thing when Obama was voted in. I don't know how they don't
I don't
remember
remember
this.
conservatives rioting in the street or waving their guns in the air like they just don't care.
But well, no, but there was a lot of backlash, and Obama came out and said, "Hey, I got voted in. Deal with it." And that's what happens. If you don't like who gets voted in, well, then do something. Even at a in your city, as your
Yeah,
city government, you're allowed to vote those
yeah, well, they
those
blocked a lot of
people in.
his legislative things that he tried to do, in Congress, and that's what we did. And we
Yeah,
got organized, and we didn't let Hillary take over. It took a lot of people, getting on the internet, and that's the new media. Uh,
right.
and it took a lot of people getting, active and voting to, change the direction of the country. So,
And going out to the primaries and everything too.
yeah, I mean, like, if and if you're into guns, gun channels, and plus all the pro gun organizations, I've mentioned earlier, Firearm Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, NRA,
Yeah,
if I for Florida Carry. Sorry if I
it's the
left
same.
anybody
It's
out.
same with here. Same with here. Canadians love their guns. So that the last gun show last month that
Do you
my
have gun shows in Vancouver?
oh yeah, hell yeah, and in Victoria, yeah, everywhere, yeah, and they're packed. They are
Cool.
packed. There's a wait list still, just for the local gun range, because my stepson, he loves his guns. Um, he's on a year and a half wait list just to get into the rifle range.
Wow. Well, a year and a
I know.
half wait list to go to the
Yeah,
range.
yeah, yeah, and it's like that all over the island. It's like long wait lists to get. Yeah,
So the
that
island's
show.
not big enough where you don't have like an outdoor range area.
Oh, there's tons of outdoor places to go. I mean,
Okay.
there's lots of bush.
Do you need a hunting license?
Yeah, oh yeah, you still have to have hunting licenses, fishing licenses, all that shit. Yeah, still got to have all your paperwork, got to have all your ducks in a row, and we have to have our guns locked up, and they have to be separate from the ammo. So if a rapist slash whatever burglar comes in, you gotta, ask
It'll
them to
take you 10
kindly
hours.
wait at the door while you find your keys, go unlock your gun safe,
Find
and
a
then unlock
flashlight.
your ammo. Yeah, 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 exactly, right.
Make sure you put in the right ammo and the right gun.
But I mean,
Jesus.
there's this preconceived notion that because we have strict laws, and we've had strict laws for a long time, that that Canadians aren't into guns, but
No, we have Biker Bob on from Gun Channels coming, on a lot of the chats, and he loves guns. So
yeah,
Canadians, there's a lot of Canadians, but I've met Canadians who were like from a city who just hate guns. I mean,
yeah, but you have people in the States that hate guns too.
yeah,
You know,
but I mean, I almost
It-
like,
it's just not written into our like you guys have your constitution, whatever. We have our Canada's Bill of Rights. It's just not written in there to form militias to protect ourselves and our family. Plus, our laws are a little different. Like we can't defend our property and our home.
so.
That's not warranted. Like to shoot somebody because they're trying to break into your home or whatever.
So what do you own any guns at all, or
No.
just your stepson?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't, but I mean, I wish it's something I wouldn't mind working towards because,
So it takes a while to get your paperwork, I'm guessing.
well, it's not just that, it's affordability for me. I'm like a church mouse. I'm poor as a church mouse here, so. But
Well, that sucks.
I mean, there's other stuff, slingshots and
Bushcraft
I
knives. I know. I
yeah.
first ran into you on the bushcraft chat there on Fox Company prepping. Is that are you into bushcraft and stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm into archery. I was into archery as a young girl. I really, really like archery. Um, and that's why I like slingshots too, because it's almost the same kind of premise,
Yeah, and
aim and pull back and
yeah, I've
thwack.
seen some gear where you can shoot your arrows from a slingshot, but I mean, I've never.
Yeah, like those pocket rockets.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
So,
So yeah, I'm into I like hunting small game, squirrels, rabbits, that sort of thing. We don't have rapey badgers here like Ron does.
honey badgers, yes.
No, he calls them rapey badgers.
Well, yeah, Britain is. Everybody's got a different kind of place. So you have squirrels and Vancouver. Are there bears or moose or
Oh yeah, we've got bears. I see bears. They'll come through my yard. Uh, we've got deer,
Kodiak bears or brown bears or black bears?
black bears
Black bears.
mostly. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about those. We do have grizz on the island now, even though the game wardens say we don't, but I know we do because there's some there's a part of the island up sort of like midway where it's not very far for bears to swim over from the mainland to over here. So they are strong swimmers. So we do have some grizz, very rare, but that's further up island, and the game wardens quietly snuff them out, get rid of them. But we have cougar, and
Ooh, they're deadly.
oh yeah, yeah.
I
I've
wanted
seen.
to take one break and just say hello to Dead Horse and Jimmy James on the gun channel side. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
I've seen cougar a few times on the island, like pretty up close and personal. But luckily, nothing's happened. So
It's the ones you don't see that are the ones you have to worry about.
yeah, yeah. And let's see. So those are our big main predators. Moose, you'd have to go really far up island for moose. So we don't have them around here in the southern part of the island.
So I've always wanted to ask you a question. I went to your page on Google Plus, and I was like, why were you sticking out your tongue in your pictures?
Well, because I don't like facial recognition. So they're always asking. I always get these messages like, can we get a nicer picture of you? One where you show your full face, and it's like, no.
So you're just sticking out your tongue, mess of facial recognition.
Well, that and I think I have shades on, or my eyes are closed, or something. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
But
It's,
I just learned that the cops now have for all these guys that are wearing bandanas in these so-called rallies, that the facial recognition can see right through their bandanas and their balaclavas.
wow. I didn't know that. So I
Yeah.
don't go to rallies or anything, but
No, me neither.
um,
I just saw a video on it yesterday, I think.
yes, the Skynet is always working on ways to track us down.
Of course. Gotta be entered into the system, you know? They want to know where everybody is at all times. It's pretty
Yeah,
easy when everybody's using their iPhone app, to like, instead of using their debit card or whatever, and you can use your iPhone app when you go to a restaurant or
I've never
you know.
done that. I mean, I don't have an iPhone, but isn't that some Apple Pay thing that they came up with?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But imagine if they made that app for all the phones.
Well, they do. They have Google Wallet,
Right,
which
right.
they
So
almost try and force you to use, but
exactly. So isn't that better than a chip? Because then they know exactly when you go to the drugstore, what kind of meds you're buying.
well,
Uh,
they know what kind of meds I'm buying because the government pays for them. So, you know, they know I'm on oxycodone right now. So
hey, you said you were taking tramadol.
I know, but then I got a tooth infection and an old root canal, so the tramadol was not going to be enough for that kind of a pain. So my
In
dentist
that
gave me
order, you had the tooth infection and then you had the root canal, or vice versa.
no, I had an old, like, the root canal is 7 years old, but there's an infection under it, so I may have to they may have to redo the root canal.
Every time you get root canals, and I've heard this from so many people, there's always the inevitable infection after.
Well, this isn't my
Always.
own root canal, but they say there's a 95%, there was a 95% chance that it would work, but he said if he redoes it, it'd be an 85% chance, and if it doesn't work, they can just pull it out and put in an implant. My
Yep.
dad had that done. It's like a cadaver bone or something, but it
Yep.
takes a long time to do it. So I talked to my dad about it today. He was calling me there. My folks are traveling to visit a cousin in Arizona, so they driving from California to Arizona, and they're in Prescott right now. Uh,
Yeah.
they visited Jerome, a ghost town in Arizona.
Cool. I like ghost towns.
Yeah, there's a mining shaft they went in for some old silver and gold mine there. And yeah, boy, it was tough. I mean, it was like there's a shaft that goes straight down, and then like a elevator hanging by one cable or something. They had to go
Almost
down
like Charlie
1,500.
Manson's hellhole there that he had.
Well,
Remember?
I don't. Well, I didn't. No, I didn't. I don't know what. I didn't really follow what Manson did. I mean, I heard the song about him, but I didn't really get into the details.
We had this near with their hangout there where they were driving the dune buggies around. They had out on that old ranch. They had they used to hike to this cave where it's like basically like what you're describing, where your parents are going, where it's like basically straight down, and you have to like lower yourself on a rope basically to get down there. So that's why it
Yeah.
reminded me of that when you said that, like the
So
basically straight down.
all the boom towns back then, I guess, that they used to mine silver from. That's that's how they did it back then.
Yep, follow the
Sounds
money.
dangerous though. I wouldn't want to be a miner. Yeah, it's Jimmy James just commented on the gunchannels .com/HVS. Jump on in. The join link is right there. I posted it, so if you can see it, please hop in, say hello. So what's your favorite bushcraft thing to do, Sophie?
Well, I'm in the bush, so
You're in the
Every
bush.
day I'm like bushcrafting basically.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I gotta chop my own wood, and
Oh, so you live in a off the grid place?
well, it's not totally off the grid, but I mean, it's pretty close to it, you know? And
Cool.
so that's why I see bears in my yard and deer. And so I'm so yeah, so I have to be self-sufficient that way, right? And and take care of myself. Otherwise, if I don't chop wood, then I'm going to be cold. So,
So you have an
but my
iron. You have a wood burning stove in your place.
yeah, yeah, I love
Cool.
it. I love it. And but I also have like a propane stove oven to cook with too, so it's not like I rely on the wood stove to cook with. But if I had to, I would, right? I can. And but my favorite bushcraft thing um was just like it's basically just hiking and if you see my YouTube channel, I have a lot of I have a lot of playlists on plants because I like gardening and I love medicinal plants.
Do you
So
have
when I
you have an herb garden for medicinal stuff? That's awesome. What's in it?
well
I didn't know you had. I know you had a Google Plus page. I'm not sure I got your YouTube channel, but
yeah,
I'll
I
have to
got a
try.
YouTube channel, yeah, for sure. And so most of it is on gardening uh to help people that want to learn how to garden. And so I have playlists on how each like fruit or vegetable grows, but I also have a playlist on medicinal plants too, and making your own herbal medicines. And I studied with two herbalists when I used to live back east, and I went to upstate New York and stayed there for a while, and I studied with two different herbalists there. And so I think is my favorite is like coming across plants that I don't expect. Like I know like the popular plants out there, but like the ones that I'll see for sure all the time that I know. But once in a while I'll come across these rare plants that and I go, yeah, that's really cool. And so that always keeps my interest up and just keep learning all making medicines. That's my big thing. I also do a lot of like
That is an.
dehydrating my own food too, like my
Wow.
own meals, so I don't have to eat
Do you have a
icky MREs.
do you have a like a commercially sold food dehydrator, or you
Yeah,
do it?
yeah, I
Oh,
do. Yeah, I do. So I make my own like chilies, stuff like that. Um, I get gifted, moose meat and stuff like that. So I'll make moose meat chili or
yeah. Well, that's a great bartering and shit hits the fan skill to have a medicinal garden and know what the hell you're doing.
yeah,
Wow.
I know what the hell I'm doing. And it's also bartering too and to have your food not just like prep like these guys that have like 100 pounds of rice. Well, what the hell good is that going to do you when you don't have much fuel to cook a pot of rice or the time? Why not have it already cooked and already planned into a meal, and then and draw it and then dehydrate it, and then you all you have to do is just add hot water, like really, and then you have your meal.
Yeah, I do it. I do it the the I don't know super convenience way. I just whenever I go to Walmart, I buy one or two Mountain House meals and throw it into the cupboard. And now I have a
But
ton
they're
of them.
expensive though.
I know. That's why I don't do it all at once. It'd be cheaper if I bought a bunch of them and just bought all at once. But
Or
uh,
you bought a dehydrator and you do like me and you make meals and
that's too
then
much. Too much. Too much draw. I'm trying to just make my own healthy meals in real time. It's hard enough, going out. I mean, somebody I got into an argument today with G Webs, and well, just go out and eat raw vegetables. What the hell are you talking about? It's like, no, I
what?
can't just eat raw vegetables.
No.
You
No,
know,
no.
I have to, get a cookbook and go shopping and get fresh, vegetables and fresh meat and some spices and I have to plan things out and pick the meals that I like out of the American Heart Association cookbook
Right.
and so it's
Make
work,
or
but I'm
you
getting
can make
used to doing
double.
that kind of a thing. And
You
but
can always
I can't get too much stuff because it'll go bad. I can't get stuff that will go bad before I get to cook it. So it's constantly going to the damn shopping store and restocking up and then cooking stuff right away. So
yeah, I guess I'm like more of like budget prepping, like just
well, I'm in the I can't afford to eat bad food mode. So
me neither. That's why I like making my own. I like making my own meals and
when I mean I can't
trying them.
afford it is like I can't, not that I can't afford to pay for it. It's that I can't afford it health wise. So
Yeah, me neither.
yeah.
I have to make sure that I have the healthiest ingredients. I don't like GMOs. I don't like a lot of
Yeah, and I
weird
found it.
chemicals in my food and
I found reading that the cookbooks from the American Heart Association Cardiac Recovery, they have a lot of good general information when you go like shopping. Like they have like 1,000 different kinds of choices other than butter, right? And so they said, I can't believe it's not butter is one of the best ones you can choose. So that's what I get every time, even though it's got this stupid spokesman because the doctor that wrote the cardiac recovery cookbook, he's board certified and every cardiologist has read his book, and the American Heart Association approved it. So but they go through everything on how to shop, how to, I mean, and there's a lot to it, but it's an interesting book to read. You don't have to read it all at once, but you can go through it and pick out the main things you like, and then you meet other people and you trade recipes and then you figure out what kind of works for you, and it's an individual thing.
right.
But it's a lot of work, and it's not as easy as just go to the store, buy vegetables, and eat them raw.
No,
It doesn't work that way.
it doesn't. Plus, our brains are mostly cholesterol, so we need cholesterol, like the good cholesterol.
That's the problem. That's why I have to take my Lipitors because some people's bodies just don't process lipids in a
Right.
good way. So as far as your LDL to HDL ratio, so that's why people get clogged arteries because of how their bodies just naturally genetically disposed to handle lipids. So you have, when I found that after I stopped after the surgery and I just changed the way I ate, and I stopped eating crap, my body just like 50 pounds came off so easy. It was because I wasn't, my body was like, well, where's all the fat I'm used to seeing it? And so instead of, it wasn't getting fed, saturated fat from the diet, it just stripped it right off my body instead because it was hungry for it, so it was like, just came right off. But
Right on.
then I went back, but that was when I was living for 2 months after my surgery in the retirement home, and I had a whole kitchen staff, and all I had to do was pick the right choices, and now I have to go shopping and prepare everything, so it's tougher, and because convenience is the the easiest choices, the easiest things to cook are not always the best for you. I mean, oatmeal is okay, but I love my steel cut oats, but it takes a while. You wake up, you boil the water, and then you put the oatmeal in, and you wait 30 minutes for steel cut oats,
Yeah.
all the excess water to boil off. But that's a great one to wake up and have. But I still can have my coffee in the morning. Somebody had asked me to review one of those new clean caffeine drinks. The company sent me an email saying, because they liked my margarita video of I think when I did a video margarita how to deal with the economic collapse, and I make a big margarita, and so they wanted me to make a clean energy, and it's like, I really would love to, but I'm not allowed to have caffeine drinks anymore. So you know, I apologize to their company, but I can't do it. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have. I used to buy caseloads of Monster Energy, caseloads of that stuff, but no
I don't agree.
longer.
I don't agree with those because it just spikes up your insulin levels, and eventually you're gonna crash. You're gonna the sugar high will come down, and so will you.
My cardiologist said that's off your diet. So I said,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, believe me, after the surgery, I had a conversation. The first thing the cardiologist asked me is, well, what did you have? Like, what kind of stuff were you eating? Before you had your congestive heart failure. And I said, well, let's see, what did I have that the night before? I had ice cream bars, beer, and Doritos.
Yeah, right.
he
Which
just
is like
he
this.
just put his hand in his head and just shook his head. Like,
Those are the staples of the North American diet, though. I mean,
yeah. What
really.
I mean, and I had bacon for breakfast, of course.
Right. Yeah.
And what kind of tactical gun person doesn't have bacon for breakfast? Shit, you could cook it on your AK. You just shoot it until the barrel gets hot and wrap your bacon around it, and it works. That's a real American, tactical gun guy's breakfast. And for dinner you have ice cream bars. I'd go to Walmart. I bought some great value ice cream bars and Doritos and washed it all down with beer. I
Right.
mean, I'm an American. What's wrong with that?
There you go. Yeah, that's why I kind of feel like an asshole right now, man. You guys are talking about healthy stuff, and I'm sitting here smoking cigarettes and having a beer.
Well, I went out to the store and got my version of fast food. It's as fast as food I could get. Is I go to the Jameke's poke bowls, which is brown rice, uh, fresh tuna with a little bit of avocado and onions and a few vegetables chopped up in it, and I think crab and broccoli salad.
There you go.
So it's not terrible, but that's as close as fast food I can get.
No, that sounds good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of grilling. Like I'll take my vegetables and grill them, my meat and grill them lately. Because usually I go for fried stuff, but I'm trying to eat healthier too.
Yeah, because I mean, if there is an economic collapse or shit hits the fan scenario, and we got to bug out, how the hell are we going to do that if we got 50 extra pounds on us and we're clutching our heart while we're running with all our gear, and we're like out of breath, and we're like, holy fuck, how do we get, you know what I mean? And how do we even get up this hill?
You can't make it a mile.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Well, right now I have a sprained foot, so
yeah, I was gonna ask you, how's your ankle doing there, bro?
Well, it's more like the instep top of my foot that got messed up because the guy kind of got hyperextended. I was trying to go put my left foot down the stairs to break my fall. The first thing that happened is the toe got caught on the highest stair and bent backwards, and then I got my foot under me and it landed like 5 stairs below where I was, and then
shit, dang.
And so it was sprained, and it's had been about the same for about, I don't know, it's almost been 2 weeks, and it hasn't gotten a whole lot better. But
are you elevating it and icing it, like I said?
I haven't been icing it. The last couple of days I went down to the jacuzzi, and I know I should be putting it in ice instead.
Yeah.
But I needed just spirit wise, I needed the relaxation of the jacuzzi, for a good day or two.
For sure.
I waited a week and a half. I was icing it for the first week and a half, and I'll probably ice it tonight. But I haven't been the last 2 days. I finally said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to the jacuzzi.
Yeah, but fuck it, you got to get back on your feet and get that foot healed, man. So you got to elevate it, like put it up on pillows on an ottoman while you're watching the boob tube, and then just like take a tea towel around that ice,
I have ice packs. Packs. It's hard to keep it on the instep of your foot, though.
Put it in a tea towel and tie it around, or take one of those Ace bandages and tie it around, or even you know, bandana. You know, tie it
Yeah, I'll get
around,
back to icing it. I know.
tie it
Okay.
around, and then just prop it up.
Yeah.
Cold compress. Way to
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, I have
yeah,
those, those blue things that from Walmart that kind of you can kind of do that with, but it is hard
yeah,
to keep it on the top of your foot though. That's one of the more harder places to keep it. But
yeah. If you get the ice packs that curve, the white in the white bags, the white plastic, you know, the kind you just shake, or the kind you can stick in the freezer.
yeah, that's what I have. Except they're
Yeah.
blue, not white.
Oh, okay. They're white up here, just white plastic, and then but they bend. The the bags, they
When they're
bend.
frozen, they don't bend at all. They're just
Oh, you mean those hard like block
yeah.
things?
Well, the ones with the little circles on them, the little tiny circle bubble things.
I'm in a different zip code there, bro. I don't I don't know if they sell that shit up here.
Well, I'll figure it out and I'll get back to icing it. But I did need.
Yeah.
I waited a week and a half and without going in the jacuzzi, and I just fucking needed it to go into the jacuzzi just
I
to
hear you.
chill, calm down, and chill out and get some. Because good feelings also do matter. Just generally, you can't just go through pain the whole time, or and without just feeling good laying back in the jacuzzi. And
I found this really cool channel on YouTube. Just like these four young guys that made a pact to like prank each other all the time.
I don't think I can handle that.
And without tapping out. Oh, these guys are hilarious. So this is what I do for, my ha-has, and when, if I feel stressed, or, like the whole election stress there was getting to me. And so I was so I turned on to that channel, and I was just laughing. It's kind of like Jackass on steroids, but uh it cheered me up. And so it's good to laugh, because they do say laughter is the best medicine. Sure is.
What's the name of this YouTube channel?
I'll have to send you the link,
Okay.
because
Yeah, send me a PM.
yeah, I'll do. I will. Because yeah, that's, I watch funny movies.
Well, I watched Red Dawn last night. That's like the official Gun
Consider that
Channel's movie.
comedy. Red Dawn is comedy.
Well, in a certain sense, it is, but it's
It's a feel good movie. Yeah, lots of guns.
lots of guns. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Guns.
guns. Everybody on the Fox Company Prepping has. I think he's been sick. He hasn't been on for a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. So I think I saw a video that said he was not feeling well.
Because he's been stressing out.
His Fox box is behind schedule or something.
Yeah, and then one of his orders didn't come through. One of his supply orders or something messed up, and so he made a couple of videos, kind of apologizing, and he's hard on himself.
Running a business
I
is
get
tough.
it. Yeah, and so when you're hard on yourself, then you're gonna put all that stress on you, and then of course that's gonna come out as a illness, right? Like a flu or whatever, right?
Well,
Too bad he's in Scotland. He can't just take his firearm in the backyard or out in the bush and just like fire off a bunch of rounds and just get his yadas out. It's like, yeah,
That's some good therapy.
Well, I guess he has. Best he can do is go out and try and start a fire with his fire starter. I try not to. I don't know. I try not to tease him too much about not having guns over there, but
yeah,
they can. They're good guys.
They sure are. They sure are.
And but so anything new happening in gun channels? I had to go see my somebody to get a consult about my bum tooth. What's been going on in gun channels today, Jimmy?
Oh, not too much, man. I'm actually just getting back from work here. I think they have We Like Shooting thing going on right now, and then they have the live lobby too. I believe. I think it's on.
Yeah. Then did Matt do another Walking Dead today?
I think he did, but I actually missed it. I haven't really been too into the show lately. It's kind of going a little downhill for me.
Yeah, they've been doing so much hype on, I've seen all kind of commercials saying how great it is and stuff, but I mean, I even got some YouTube ads looking at YouTube videos off for The Walking Dead, to make sure I don't miss it. And it's like,
Yeah,
what
well,
makes
the
them
thing
think I
is with
watched
me,
it in the first place?
I mean, I know the zombie thing is like a fantasy, but I don't know. I feel like if some bug out or end of the world scenario were to happen, I don't think people would invest that much in their feelings. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of like the Days of Our Lives zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, they should make it more like a sitcom. Like, or Happy
Yeah.
Days or something. It's just how when you write, I think Gail Ann Hurd is involved. She was like the producer of Aliens, but it's like when you do writing, it's just having characters interactions driving the plot. So they're just doing writing it's mechanical interactions of people. It was like, yeah, I tried to watch some of it, and it just, I couldn't get into the characters. I didn't understand why the old lady wanted to just leave right as soon as she got into the safe place where where there weren't any zombies. But whatever. I like the guy that had I like the guy had a tiger, but I'd rather the tiger be free out in Africa than sitting in some guy's house.
Yeah, chained, and I mean, that tiger, man, he could just rip that guy's arm off of it. He's holding him on a leash, he would be dragging him down the street in real life.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so true.
yeah, apex predators are not meant to be pets. They're meant to be free, so.
No.
Yeah, like in my front yard. I gotta look out my I gotta look out my window before I go out to get my wood. Like
Make sure there's not a bear waiting to ambush you.
They just mosey on down my driveway. I had
they don't understand that they don't understand property rights. So
no, they don't. Well, it's their property, really. It is. I had one. I have this big fir and a big cedar tree right, like, my front yard, and had this summer I had a big mama bear and her 3 little cubs. They're the sweetest little things, and they were just out there playing for hours.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't get too close to those cubs when mama bears
I stayed
around.
indoors. Are you kidding me? I was like
door
locked
bear
up
proof?
in the house, barricaded in, like.
Do you have a bear proof door?
Oh yeah. I have to, because I mean, if they smell food, they will try and
knock it down and get.
Yeah, there's this lady there's this local lady that lived in, this was like many years back, but story goes that she was like cooking. I think she was like cooking up bacon or something, and in her trailer, and this bear comes in. And she twacked it over the head with her cast iron pan and got rid of it. It worked, The bear left, and I guess, I don't know. I guess he didn't get any bacon. And then there was another story on the news. It was just up island from me, like this, like a couple hours drive up island from me, in a city where a bear came into a person's kitchen, and the woman came out. She didn't hear what all the commotion was about, and she came around the corner, saw a big black bear in her kitchen, ran back, got her husband, and her husband came out with his gun, boom, boom, just a couple shots, took it out. So, so luckily, like, we do have guns up here, because like shit like that goes on, I've heard of cougars even like making it into people's houses, and they come home and it's like there's a cougar hanging out on your couch. It's like, whoa.
Hanging out on your couch. I remember when I was a kid, we visited Lake Shasta, and the deer would just come like into the cabin and like beg for food, pretty much, and so people would but the tourists would just, like my folks just gave them a sandwich,
Yeah. Yeah, I have deer coming up here all the time. I have them standing at the stairs at the bottom of my deck,
They associate you with food now.
Well, because I have because I was growing tomatoes and everything on my deck, right?
Oh, well, they'll definitely associate you with food if you're growing.
Yeah, but I have my
vegetables.
deck like fenced off so they can't get up here and steal my tomatoes. I mean, I ain't growing it for them.
Yeah, I think I still have some pictures somewhere of my mom feeding the deer from the cabin.
They
She
get
gets-
lots to eat. There's lots of grass here and, lots of dandelion greens or whatever they munch on.
Yeah, I remember that from when I was a kid, but I've been in the city almost all my life, so I'm more of a city kid. I just know how to use guns. That's all. So
I used to be a city girl, but I just wanted to, but because of, my love for medicinal plants and wanting to be, close to nature, close to, like I am bushcrafting. I'm bushcrafting every day, you know. So,
So how big of an herb garden do you have? I mean, how many plants?
oh, I just I have like my I have like just my basic, plants like like for cooking, like thyme, oregano, and that sort of thing. But for medicinal plants, I hike out and collect those.
Ah, okay. You don't
Like,
grow any of those. You don't grow any medicinal plants
oh
at
yeah,
all?
I do grow some medicinal plants, like the harder ones that I can't get, I can't get here that don't grow naturally in Canada or
Mhm.
this soil or whatever, this climate. Um, but for the most part, I'm a big believer in whatever you need medicinally, whether it's like to stop a wound, like bleeding from a wound, let's say, or something like that. That all of those plants are available around you. I live by that philosophy, and I know that to be true.
Well, you have to really know your plants though, and your local
Yeah,
area and what grows and where. Uh,
yeah, and that's why I have a playlist on my channel, showing people what plants look like, and they're not my videos, they're videos that I've chosen
right.
and put up there so that people can see the plants, how they're growing in the actual outdoors, as opposed to like a picture book, and then and learn what they're good for. Because the sooner that people take responsibility for their own, like you had to with your diet after your operation, the sooner that we take responsibility for our own health. If there's like a grid down, or if even a grid down situation, I mean, that means you're not getting to the bank. No, wait, your debit card's not going to work. You're not going to be able to get your medications from the drugstore. Then what?
Yeah, then I get into the drugstore and figure even if I could break into the drugstore, I wouldn't know how to find my medications. How am I going to go in through all their storage system and figure out where the metropolol is? you know?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
what I do is I mean some of my meds I don't have to take every day, and some are as needed, so I have a lot of those saved up because basically I get refills every 30 days. But the stuff that I do have to take every day, like Lipitor or Lotus aspirin, it's I don't I can buy Lotus aspirin, but as far as like Lipitor and um, the stuff that I take every day, it's hard for me to get a supply. I mean, my doctor can write me a 90-day prescription, but the government won't. My plan only will let them fill a 30-day subscription. So,
Well, what about those online pharmacies that I'm always getting in my spam mail all the time?
I
What
don't trust.
about
I don't trust them.
can you order
I
stuff from
guess,
them?
but I don't trust them.
No?
If I figure if I get generic Lipitor from Walmart, it'll be the actual medicine and not something else, or
Right.
just ground up talcum powder or something,
Yeah, yeah.
because
There
anybody
must
with
be some reputable ones out there that you could
yeah, well, I don't
research,
know what
like,
they are. I mean, I
yeah.
know I'm taking a risk by not having, a
like a
10-year
backup supply. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
what I'm saying. You should have a backup supply.
I know that the FEMA has specifically medical supplies, but the government has done a deal with the drug manufacturers, and part of that deal is they only fill up a 30-day supply at the pharmacy for patients, and there's no way you can. It's been a policy that's been determined by the government, and there's no way to appeal it. So,
gee, I wonder why they did that.
well, it's something to do
I'm
with
being
manipulating
sarcastic.
prices, manipulating the prices that the government
Yeah.
pays.
And also limiting it so that if something even like Katrina went down,
you're dependent on the government for your meds.
Yeah,
So.
you got to suck on the government to get your health meds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they do have that stuff, Fish Mox. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it's pretty much, it's supposed to be for fish, but it's pretty much the same equivalent of amoxicillin. And they're going to discontinue that.
Well, I might get some because that's what I'm on right now, but for my tooth infection, but that's a whole nother problem. I don't want to talk about infections for the rest of the chats.
Cabbage leaves, bro. Cabbage leaves.
Cabbage leaves. Well.
Yeah. I know you're gonna laugh. Just fold up a cabbage leaf, stick it on that tooth.
Well, now what was your channel? I don't know if I should call you Sophie or if you have a username you'd rather use.
Yeah, Sophie.
Okay.
That's
what's your YouTube channel? I'd really like to check that out. Some of the plants and stuff you got up there too.
Same thing, Sophie Daily on YouTube. That's my YouTube.
Is there a space between Sophie and Daily?
Yep.
Okay, Sophie space Daily. D-A-L.
No, D-A-L-E-Y.
Daily. Okay, D-A-L-E-Y.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, because that's a lot of information. A lot of people be interested in that, and there's a lot of people that are kind of, ignorant to it. They don't really know what they can grab and stuff. So.
Yeah, I'll be putting up more videos on that because I was focusing on urban gardening and stuff like that. Just because if there's an economic crash, I just wanted to let people know that, hey, even if you have a balcony, or in a building, or you have even windows, you can grow stuff, and even like cheap, you can just get buckets from.
My first problem is gonna be where I live. The roof is so damn hot. Not only can I not grow anything indoors or on the balcony, I'm gonna have to throw somebody out of a ground floor unit by force to take it over. I'm just going to throw some people out of the ground floor and say, out.
Or you become friends with them and then you get roof access somehow. And then you grow up there.
You can't grow. The roof is just too steaming hot. I mean, it's impossible.
It'd be perfect for growing.
You'd be burn up anything that you tried to grow up there. I mean, I almost got killed by my roof. So, I mean, if somebody doesn't want it, I'm just going to have to throw somebody I don't like out of a ground floor apartment. I have no problem doing that, So, I know it's your house and you paid for it, but get the fuck out.
Oh, come on now. We should be all holding hands and singing
I'm not going around beating up. I'm not the person going around hitting horses.
Yeah, that's true, eh? Like you really get a good
here's the
bet on the I mean, it's like, what is that saying about people? Like, I thought people were smarter than this shit.
No, I think the horse here is smarter than the person.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yes. Because the horse is like kind of chill, but it's got its teeth bare, just ready.
He's like saying, don't fuck with me.
Yeah. If your face gets any closer, lady, I'm biting it off.
Your face, I'm going to mistake it for an apple.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, oops. I thought it was a carrot. Oh.
She looks more like a turnip.
Yeah, I know.
And why is she yelling at the horse? Is he a Trump supporter?
No, anti-Trump. protester slash rioter, feminazi, you know, something. I don't know.
Yeah, you saw this meme, right?
Yeah.
This is fucking hilarious. You know,
I don't get it.
I'm just a horse. Why are you yelling at me?
He's like trying to avoid
Yeah.
eye contact.
And the other horse behind that white one is just ready. It's like, yeah, I got your back. I got your six. Don't worry. Bring it on, lady.
I mean, having a charge for abuse of a service animal, that just sounds terrible.
Yeah, that does. And she's going to have to walk around like that with that on her record. Like any future employer, whatever, is going to say abuse of a service animal. What the hell? What the hell did you do?
The hell did you do to that horse?
That looks really like, yeah, that would cause hairy eyebrows for sure. Like that would be like, whoa. Mm-hmm.
What is the
It's
world
funny,
come
but
to?
then it's not, you know, like
Yeah, I know.
shit's just getting out of hand. It's like I said, they're gonna have an anti-Trump protest rally in Toronto. Really? Like,
But the horses are going to be rallying for Trump.
yeah,
Well,
and I
is
mean,
your Sophie? Is your prime minister more liberal than they are, or I don't know
I
how
think
your
so.
system works.
oh, he's I don't. I think he wasn't. I don't think he was too happy Trump got in. Let's put it that
Oh,
way. I think he was more pro Clinton, and his father was a prime minister back in the day, like back in the 70s, when we actually had martial law. We had tanks rolling down in downtown Ottawa. Seriously.
Jesus.
Why did their hockey team lose or something?
Nah, it was, you know, when hockey teams lose, I mean, you see shit like this, like you know, behind this meme here, you know, they do, they go out and they smash shit. It's bad, but uh, no, it was two guys out of an embassy that were kidnapped. It was just like back in the day, and there was also and Quebec is a lot like Texas. They're like, anytime something bad happens in the country, they want to leave and they want to just, you know, become their own, you know, sovereign area type deal.
Yeah, but Texas has done that before. I mean, Texas
Yeah,
was a republic
so is
first.
Quebec, right? So, and so,
But Quebec, that's the whole thing with the French speakers, right?
yeah,
So
the Quebecois, it was when it was taken over with by France when they had England and France here fighting.
now the
And
French just make fun of the French people, the people that speak French in Quebec. If they make fun of the way they talk, you know, it's just
yeah, but you should, yeah, but you know, you gotta hand it to those Quebecois guys were the same ones during the Civil War that when a lot of the civil war fighters from the U.S. were getting beaten down, the Quebecois guys gave them shelter, bandaged them up, gave you know, protected them. Then they went down there to the White House when it was a pink house, when it was painted pink, and they were the ones that set it on fire.
because it was pink.
No, because they were against the whole Civil War thing, and they wanted to help their U.S. brothers out, man.
Oh,
This is
they
why
were
I'm saying, like,
they were
Canada has like helped you guys, gone down there and helped out the U.S. many times.
by
Like,
burning down the White House.
hey, that was a good thing. And
I thought the British burned
back
down the
then,
White House. I must have missed that
that's
part of my
bullshit.
history
It
class.
was bullshit. It was the Quebecois, man. And not only that, then when the we were a big part of the Underground Railroad back in the day too.
Okay.
Yeah, we were smuggling the slaves and giving them a safe haven up here, and to this day, when you go to some Atlantic provinces like like big cities like Halifax and stuff, you still see like a big black population that were there, that their ancestors were slaves that were saved by Canadians.
So all the black people should start drinking, Canadian beer
Fucking right.
and playing
And
hockey.
watching hockey.
Yeah. Now that we solved the race problem in North America,
Yeah.
next,
Please come to Canada.
we figured it out on the Lock and Load chat there. So
Exactly. Come to Canada. Given you safe haven before, we'll do it again.
yeah, you can get at least start drinking Canadian beer and watching hockey.
We're chill up here. We're chill. Our beer is stronger. I firmly believe that's got a lot to do with it. It's better. It tastes better. It's stronger.
I have to do a beer review. I got a new beer that from Kona Brewing Pub that I have to review. It's a Kona. It's a Kona coffee beer. So
I thought you were doing. You can do
called
the
Pipeline.
caffeine thing.
There's no caffeine in beer.
You said it's Kona coffee.
Oh well, that's what they use to brew the beer. But I mean, by the time there might be some. I don't know, but it's beer. I mean, it's not a caffeine drink. It's beer.
And they make it out.
It's out of coffee. It's called Pipeline.
Oh.
So I'll do a review tomorrow. I didn't have time to review it today, or I would have. But tomorrow I'll pick up some more. I'll hit the poke shop, Jameca's Bowls, and grab some another bowl of whatever the daily poke of the day is over there. Poke of the day, and some brown rice and
Brown rice is good for you.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't store as long though for prepping, but as white rice, it won't stay, fresh as long. But it's white rice, but it's better for you health wise. So
that's why I cook it up, and I use different herbs and spices and cook it up with stuff, and then dehydrate it. Stores real well.
What dehydrator do you have?
I forget the name. It's this square silver thing.
Square and silver. Do you have a YouTube? Maybe you have a YouTube video featuring it or something.
Oh, but there's a couple of channels out there I really like Linda's Pantry. She's like the queen of dehydrating foods and
I think I seen her
making
before.
meals. She makes deadly meals. Like she makes really kick-ass meals, and I mean, a lot of people think, well, yeah, dehydrated food, it's not going to be as good as my mountain, whatever the fuck those are called.
Mountain House, yeah.
Yeah,
Dehydrated.
but it's actually way better. Way better. And then you're also putting in exactly what you like instead of, having to read the ingredients list off a foil pack and going, what the hell is that, right? And at least you know everything that's in it, and you get way more than like a Mountain House thing.
Well, I mean, I saw like Carlisle's review of Mountain House lasagna, and he really liked it. So I figured, considering he's known for his camping videos with his outrageous Yorkshire pudding and beef to steaks and just full on gourmet camping, that I figured if he says it's good, it's got to be good. So
yeah,
he did
poor.
threaten to visit my house and dare me to shoot him with my AK for some reason. I was like, what? He says, well, if I stand outside your house and dare you to shoot me with your AK, if you don't, then I'm going to come in and kick your ass and hit you over the head with your own rifle. It's like, dude,
why it's because all those times you're going guns.
Yeah, it's like they have a certain amount of Glock envy or something because they can't have them, I think. But it's and I'm probably tired of me telling them that they're not free. I mean, just quoting the Scots guy,
because the guy who runs that chat is from Scotland. You know, there was a Scotsman who wrote the 9 Limitations of Government, who said that the distinction between a free man and a slave is a firearm. And they're probably tired of me quoting that because, you know, none of them have firearms. So, you know, I tell them either they don't give firearms to slaves, you know, but I mean, somebody was trying to say that they do. But anyway, if you don't know
Yeah,
whether
that's
you're
what
free or a slave, you know, the free guys have the guns, you know.
I think they give the slaves guns because the way we just shoot each other, you know, and then they just have to come or round up what's left over and deal with that. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I was just quoting their own the Scotsman who
Yeah,
wrote
you can't go too hard on the Scotsman. I'm part Scot, so
Well,
yeah,
I was just
that's
reading
got
the
in
guy
me.
who wrote I mean, the founding fathers specifically liked that particular guy who wrote the 9 Limitations of Government. He was a clerk
Yeah,
for like the Scotsman, and they were never adopted before they. It was a proposal that was never adopted before Scotland joined the England and the UK. So,
but doesn't Scotland have that free roaming thing where they're allowed to just go wherever and camp out wherever and
I
be?
don't know.
They have like this
They said
free.
I heard them say something about that. You know,
Yeah, they have this free land, not free land, but they have this freedom on the land type of deal where
for
they're,
camping out or something. Yeah.
yeah, and whereas like here we have so many restrictions where we can camp, you know,
Gotta
because
be
there's a lot of like
permit, or you need to pay. You know, yeah, you need to
you
have a
got to
permit to
pay or you
camp.
got
You know,
to you
yeah,
know,
that's just. I mean,
or you can't because they're, you know, wild, they're off limits because they're wildlife sanctuaries or they're, you know,
I mean, I literally can't start a
parks.
campfire. You're not allowed to start a campfire on state land. So you know, if they come along and I had a campfire, they could, write me a ticket for that. I
Yeah, but
don't think they will seize your guns for just having a campfire, but
no,
because it's not a gun violation, but they will write you a ticket and use it as an excuse to search you for other violations. But
exactly.
they, it's so. I mean, I have a gas stove, so I don't need to start a campfire. I mean, I could just, have a little, one of those mixed fuel type of stoves, indoor little tiny things. So.
Is that a seasonal rule or is that year round? You can't
That's
do a
year
campfire?
round in Hawaii. It's in the hunting regs. No fires.
Huh.
Even in the wintertime, you get lots of rain and stuff like that.
We don't.
Or even
doesn't
near the
matter.
beach, you can't even
Nope.
have one like on the beach
Nope.
with the water right there. You could put
Nope.
the fire out. Wow.
Nope. People
Wow.
do it anyway sometimes, but no, if there's a lifeguard, they won't let you, or if there's any state employee, they won't let you.
Wow.
I mean, I understand if you're in a fire-prone area, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's a general rule that covers the entire state land. So,
Wow.
That's why I if I make a video with a camping fire, it will be an illegal camping fire.
Even if you have one, you're like, even if you had like a little mini rocket stove, you couldn't even do that.
No. I mean, but if you have like a gas stove, then technically that's not a fire. That's not a like a wood fire. That's just a gas thing. Like that's why I have my indoor stove, so I could boil water or something. But
right,
you can't have let's build a big bonfire and have fun with marshmallows thing.
Yeah, like I used to when I was growing up. We used to have we used to all go out in the bush and have bush bashes and take our two 4s and our our 2 6s and
we would just when I was a kid,
our
we used to hang
guns
out at the
and
beach
go
and
out
get
and
stoned.
yeah, that too. And that's where I learned how to shoot when I was younger, doing that.
I guess it just came naturally to me. I mean,
my
dad gave me a BB gun when I was a kid, and I was just a demon with it. So
I had a BB gun, and then my brother said, "Here, take this," and shoot
Here,
that can. And it was a 30-30, and I managed to like not bite my tongue off and I stayed upright. Like I'm only like 5'2", 100 pounds soaking wet or whatever. So Uh, I didn't hit the can, that's for sure. But I didn't fall on my ass. So I give myself a thumbs up for that. You know? It was good. I
Yeah,
was a
that's a
little
victory.
hungover. I'll add that too. Let's throw that in as a disclaimer right now, or as a caveat, right? I was hungover. So had I not been, I may have been able to hit the can or even get close. I don't even know. I think I was way off though. I might have shot a squirrel way off in the distance or something.
My dad's a pretty damn good shot, but he just doesn't. He's never like permanently carried one because he's just good because he practiced in the army a lot. But he never carries. He doesn't even own a holster. I've been like telling him, buy a fucking holster, you idiot. And he just
Why don't you get him for one for Christmas?
well, Hanukkah for me, but
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Because he doesn't want one, you know.
Get him one anyway.
His wife is afraid because every day he reads the Wall Street Journal and he gets really mad when he reads all the dumb stuff that Obama does. She's afraid he'll shoot a hole in the roof when he reads the paper.
Well, he just carries it around in his pocket, or what's going on there?
No, he just keeps it in his. He keeps guns in his gun safe and in his bedroom dresser drawer.
Oh, okay.
I just told him, like, if I was a bad guy, with a knife, it would take you forever to get a gun, and
Yeah.
and
You got open carry down there?
in California, no.
No,
But,
in Hawaii. Oh, your
no.
dad's in California, all right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's in Arizona right now, so he could do anything he wants there, I think. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's
California's getting some draconian gun laws happening
Yeah,
there,
you
right?
need
They're almost like up here now.
Prop 63 passed that you need a damn permit to buy ammo. I remember when you didn't even have to show ID.
Yeah. I know.
And I remember the first time somebody asked me for ID in a gun shop or, in the sporting goods shop, I said, can I get some ammo for my 45? And he's like, yeah, I need to see your ID. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
You need to see
Do I
my
look
ID
under
for
18?
ammo? Do I need really for ammunition? And first he got pissed because he's like, yeah, that's the law. And then he realized that it was a dumb law. It was unconstitutional and that they didn't used to be that way. And so he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's the dumb law and it sucks, but I got to
Really? You got to take a piss test?
What? Who said that?
I thought you said that. First you got to piss. Oh, sorry.
No.
My bad. I'm hearing things.
You're hearing things.
Yeah, auditory.
Stop smoking your herbs.
Hey, it's legal, all right?
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't do that. I don't.
I was just joking, but
I smoke mullein and colt's foot and plants like that if I have a cough or a cold.
I can't smoke anything anymore. So
these are like plant herbs that they're medicinal for your lungs.
Well, smoke isn't good for my cardiovascular system as a whole, so I don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
And actually, given all the fighting I've done with the board of directors, they felt guilty and consider they made where I condominium a no smoking legally a no smoking building. So they set up a special place where people can smoke, but I always used to complain because the people downstairs would just smoke cigarettes on their lanai and would come right into my condo, and I could barely breathe. If I stepped out on the balcony, I used to choke. And ever since I got back from the hospital, it's been nobody smoking. One time somebody did, and they got a $300 fine for it, and they don't smoke there anymore because the next fine will be $600, and the next fine will be $1,200, and the next fine will be $2,400. And I'd sue the guy if he kept doing it too, because it's an officially a no smoking building.
So people have to like go away from the building to have to have their smoke.
Yeah, they've set up a designated smoking area that's far enough away so it won't bother anybody in any of the units.
Right.
So, but they wouldn't have done that if I hadn't had a big fight with them over other things, over the hot damn roof. They lost a $1.5 million lawsuit trying to sue a developer. And I told them they were going to lose, and they did it anyway, and then they just gave everybody else the bill. But that's condominium crap, you know.
Yeah, that's I've dealt with that before too. I don't like the whole condo. You know, there's just so many rules.
There's so many ways to get ripped off, is what.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
happened. So we have a new panel member that just logged on. John War, welcome to Lock and Load.
What's going on, man? It's Edge.
Oh, it's Edge. Hey, thanks for logging on, man. How's it going in Texas?
He's got his.
I'm working it.
You're working it?
What's up, Edge?
What's going on, man?
Just hanging out on a Monday night, trying to have some fun, talking about horses being beat up by protesters.
Well, I've beaten a horse, so it's better to beat them up than eat them.
Well, it was a police horse. She got charged with harassing abusing a service animal. So,
Well, I mean,
for everybody watching, Edge runs a great weekly chat on Friday nights, so you can check him out. What's your YouTube channel again, Edge? It's
4006.
all right. So we've got Jimmy James from the Gun Channel's Early Watch, and we've got Sophie Daly from Vancouver, who's an expert on
Vancouver Island.
Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Vancouver, Canada, or Vancouver, Oregon? Or Seattle, Oregon?
Vancouver Island, as in Canada.
Ah,
Yeah, she's an expert on medicinal herbal gardening and stuff like that. That's her, and she's a bushcraft person with bears in her front yard.
And cougars.
I'm down with the Canucks.
Right on. He knows what a Canuck is. Woo!
Yeah, we've got him on Gun Channels. So.
Love that back bacon
And beer and hockey.
and beer and take off, eh?
You don't say A up here. I don't know where that comes from.
Take off, you hose head.
Hosers, yes. Oh yeah, we're hosers.
I actually had to look that up once, and I did some research on it to find out that the history behind that terminology or word is that the losers back in the day before they had Zambonis actually had to hose the ice and rejuvenate the ice after a game.
Yep.
And that's what they call the losers.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta have some way to
I
get.
never knew that.
Well, yeah, the skates are so sharp. They cut
I
up.
thought it meant something else, but you know.
Well, no, it's because, like, I mean, after Strange Brew, dude, everybody's like, hey, take off the you holder. Nobody knew what it meant, and I looked it up, and I was like, and then I finally have one resource that actually had the terminology or the definition of it, or behind the word.
I just like that show from the Great North where they have all those beer boxes behind them for the show.
Well, the same guys, the Douglas brothers.
I forget. No, they're the.
Douglas or something, or...
I'll remember. I'll remember when it gets closer to Christmas because they have their whole Christmas CD where they make fun of all the yeah. That's it. It shows how much we love our hockey, right? When we call each other hosers.
Right on.
And riots break out, and it looks like like something behind those horses there on that meme you got up there, Hawaii.
Well,
And
there's something behind
that's
the
how
horses?
it looked like when the Vancouver Canucks lost Game 6 in the Game 7 playoffs. Downtown Vancouver looked like that, and they were smashing windows and everything was going off.
Well, I still remember, was it that concert they had in, where was it? What's one of them big towns? Was it Toronto? Where Metallica had that blowout and they canceled the show and basically the whole town, they tore up the stadium.
Yeah, that's what happens. I thought it was Guns N' Roses or something.
Well, Guns N' Roses, well, Metallica, because James Hetfield basically lit his arm on fire. At like 3,000 degrees on a pyrotechnics accident, and
Why does that not surprise me?
And then Guns N' Roses was supposed to like save the day, like hopefully, but then Axl had a fit and didn't like the PA system, so he's like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Right.
And then the folks didn't get too crazy about the situation.
Yeah, that was Vancouver, and everybody just lost their shit. Yep. So everybody that thinks that Canadians are these really nice, polite, and they all want to escape and come up here, like go home, whoopee, and because they think this is like going to be a safe haven, everything's chill and whatever up here. Forget about it. Forget about it. We're insane. Go home.
The thing is that they signed a big like card and they apologized to all the people that committed all the crimes and tore down everything. They said, "I'm sorry, we had a bad night."
Yeah, see, we were polite after the fact, though. See, that's the thing, right? We go crazy first, and then we apologize later.
Nobody ever riots in Hawaii. It's no fun.
Yeah, I thought that no, you guys lost. Like Clinton took Hawaii, the votes in Hawaii, and or the Democrats rather.
All 4 votes.
Yeah.
Four electoral votes. It's nothing.
For Texas, we had 20 electoral votes.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, Texas. Yeah, you guys have a lot of votes there. Yeah. So, are you happy about the whole election thing?
I couldn't be happier with the result, and I told people he wasn't my guy. Like I didn't think he was the best candidate, but I can't stand that other person. With everything inside me, and her atrocities and everything she brought to the table, and people were overlooking it and giving her a pass, and the whole. I have nothing against a woman being president by any means, but just not any woman. I want the woman that's gonna, personify when why a woman should be president, not just somebody who's gonna say, "Hey,
I don't have a problem with having a black president either. I just didn't like Obama's policies.
Exactly.
I got a vagina, so vote for me. Kind of.
Yeah. I don't believe in that shit either. It shouldn't be about cult of personality. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be just because she's a chick. Oh, vote me in. Yeah. No. You're an evil. She's not even a woman. I'm like a disgrace to be even in the same gender as her. Like seriously, like
we forgive you.
she's like she's evil personified.
She has teeth in her vagina.
Yeah, exactly. She probably has claws down there. Like fuck that shit, man. Like that.
Don't try and freak out my dreams tonight by saying that shit.
You have dreams about Hillary?
I have to give our Canuck friend a word quiz. How do you say house?
How do we say what?
House.
House?
Yeah.
House.
Because everybody I've met from Nova Scotia or Prince Edward says hoose.
That's Nova Scotia and PEI. That's a totally different beast going on over there. It's no different than in the States where you have completely like you have a New York accent, you have Californians they have their accent, Texans have their accents. I mean,
but you were originally from the East Coast, right?
Yeah, but from Ontario, not like near Toronto, but not
Quebecan.
Yeah, I'm not. I learned French because Quebec was really close to us, but
French is horrible.
But PEI and Labrador and Nova Scotia, they have a very Nova Scotia is short for New Scotland. They have a very the early immigration that happened there was very was a lot of Irish and Scottish. Yeah, and so they kept their accents. They just kept them.
Yeah, I'm Bob, one of the guys in the chat says they're Canuck. He's from Saskatoon.
Saskatoon, yeah.
And he says batteries. I'm like, it's batteries. But or like batteries. Like, no, you're throwing another syllable in there, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, everybody's got their it's a huge country we've got up here. We got a lot of land.
I
So
only know how to say a few dirty things in French, and that's it.
yeah, me too.
That's about it. And then I have to say my French.
It's the same with pretty well every language. I know some dirty shit in German, Chinese, whatever. Just in case, right? Like, you never know.
Ready, football, madam.
You know,
Okay, you don't need to demonstrate all the bad words. That's okay. Just that we know them. It's like, you know.
I wasn't demonstrating. I'm just saying I know.
No, Edge was, but
Yeah.
okay, Edge, talk about guns. Do us a favor. So
I love
somebody was saying in the text, I think Dead Horse got some new magazines and 3 new magazines, and that's about. Oh, tell us what kind of, if he's still out there, Dead Horse, type what kind of magazines you got. He had to get an AR mag because that's what he has, I think.
I got me one of those for my birthday. I got a Troy AR mag. And it's a pretty good mag. It comes with a little adapter, so you can put the bottom plate where you can rip it out.
Yeah, for the elections, I got a 2 P mags, a 30 round and a 40 round Gen 3 P mag. So for my Tavor, as soon as my foot heals up, I'll take my Tavor out to the range. People have been asking for Tavor. People have been knocking the Tavor on Gun Channel, so I'm going to go out and hit some steel targets and make them all eat their words, because I feel the need for steel.
Got a great Tavor, but he came in some hard times. Had to get rid of it and dump it.
Who did?
One of my friends, personal friend of mine, a local friend of mine, not Gun Channel guy, but and he just got into hard times, had to pay some bills, and man, he bought that. But the guy had the Burris optic on it and everything, and it was a sweet little Tavor. And shot it. It was the first time I shot a Tavor. Awesome rifle. I like it. I'm unfortunate when he bought it. It was still at the time where people were paying more than what a Tavor was retailing for.
Yeah, that was. I remember that when they first came out, they were at ridiculous prices. I wait till it came down to the retail price. You know, I said, if you get me one to the local gun shop guy, I'll pay the retail price. You know, but that's when they were selling for more than the retail price. So he got me one and he sold it to me for the retail price, and they were selling for more than that on Gunbroker. So I said,
excuse me. Why are they so pricey?
They were new. They were hot. There's a buzz on all the internet gun channels about them, and
yeah. And another classic example of like that kind of weapon that came out was like the Keltec KSG shotgun, and that
has problems, doesn't it? That had problems.
Yeah, it had some issues. They cleared it up eventually. Whatever, Keltec has some issues, and they always have. But that shotgun, when it first hit the market, and then they like Hawaii saying they fixed it or did some gen stuff to it. But that one was a shotgun that was like retailing for like $1,000, but it was selling for like $1,800 easily because people.
I saw Tavors for like $4,000, $5,000 on Gunbroker, and I was like, "Are you kidding? I don't need a rifle that bad." So I just told the local gun shop guy, as soon as you can get one for me at the retail price, let me know and I'll buy it. But I'm not going to pay more than the retail. So I waited until that happened, and I paid the retail price. And the guy made some money off of me. That's okay. It's a local gun shop. Support your local gun shop, or there won't be one. But
more than ever right now in the States, because a lot of gun shops are prepping for the apocalypse, if you will.
The Clinton apocalypse. They were stocking up.
They were stocking up with a lot of rifles, and ARs, and
ammo.
And now they're stuck with a lot of surplus, if you will. And you should be able to get it, at a decent price. So definitely, like Hawaii said, support your local gun shops, because you've seen the way Academy, tucked their tail between her legs, over the last fucking shootout, and took the rifles off the shelf, their ARs or black guns, black rifles off the shelf, and then brought them back eventually. And Walmart stopped selling, the ARs, the Colts too, and so on. And you can't depend on those people to afford you the ability to get a rifle or a decent pistol or even some solid maybe advice on buying one if you're a first-time buyer. But your local gun shop can do that, and it comes at a little bit of a premium, but it's definitely worth it because you're supporting somebody who's going to be there for you when you need them.
Yeah, and if you don't support your local gun shop, then you won't have one, and you'll be stuck with the corporate America kind of, and the corporate America can be, blackmailed into taking stuff off the shelf,
Luckily, the route we're going, you're going to be able to buy silencers at 7-Eleven.
Let's hope. Now's a great time to join your I know. Yeah, they were talking about the silencer thing, and what was the organization for that? You remember off the top of your head?
I couldn't say off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But about Trump and his son?
No, the silencer company. There's an organization, for the National Hearing Act, Protection Act, or something like that. It's
one
like
of the biggest
Silencer something.
companies I can think of are Silencer Co. It's out there. I don't know if that's part of it, but I imagine they're participating in it, definitely.
Okay, well, go to Every Second Matters on the 2nd of next month, and you'll find out if it's not on the website now.
It's pretty cool to buy like a drop phone, one of those phones you get, junk phones you use to call people you hate, and you buy a silencer at the same time at the convenience store.
That would be cool. That would be awesome. But they're not legal in my state. Even if they were nationally legal, you didn't have to, if in your state they're legal and you have to wait for 6 months and pay $200 to get a silencer, tax stamp. In my state they're not legal, so You
got to tell the Hawaiian House and Senate to lay off the pineapple for a while, let the sugar go down, and then
man.
I'd be interested to see how gun sales spiked before the election. Oh,
in October they were up 18% from the 2015. They had 3 million NICS checks or something this October, and it was basically up 18% from the October in 2015. So
that's one thing that pissed Obama is that under his 8 years he sold more guns than any other president in history.
He was a great salesman for guns. So my health tip for the day, my really healthy thing that I did today is I cut up a mango. I had some mango. I sliced up like a third of a mango. With
my dog doesn't like mangoes.
Coat. What's that?
My new dog doesn't like mangoes. It just makes a mess.
Well, I love mangoes. I
love mangoes.
Sliced one up into. I basically have that in my new Spyderco K11 kitchen knife. It's really super sharp, and I used it to slice up mangoes. I peeled the skin off, and I just made really thin mango slices and just ate them like, sugary snacks.
My goal is to not only get Canadians get open carry and concealed carry, but also then to have a decent chicken fried steak.
Well, I bet, what would be really popular on gun channels if you take those mangoes and wrap them in bacon.
Oh, yeah, mangoes and bacon.
That's like just sugary, sweet, and wrapped
salty
in
all at the same time. Yeah,
and like as with beer and cigarettes.
Yeah. I think
I blew a Newfie's mind once when I told him about chicken fried steak. He was like, "What's that?"
Oh, I know what chicken fried steak is.
Yeah,
I've been to the States a lot, so
But this Newfie, I blew his mind because it was other than fish.
Yeah, well, Newfies, they can get their mind blown pretty easy. No offense. I love you guys out there, yeah.
Just stay out of Canada, right?
They are in Canada.
So, do you do any bushcraft at all over there in Texas, or are you a straight gun guy?
Well, the wife doesn't like when I do some bushcraft, but... okay, sorry.
That's not what I was referring to. I meant Well,
No, I mean, I love to. I grew up. My father, my fondest memories as a child growing up in Texas was going on these little modest vacations that they could afford, where we'd go like to a state park and camp out
Yeah.
and have fun. But my wife always like, "Hey, I want to go camping." I go, do you like bugs? No. Do you like mosquitoes? Do you like sleeping on top of dirt and rocks? No. Tim, why do you want to go camping? Because that's kind of what it's all about. It's a little unpleasant, but you get past it and you have a lot of fun. And but no, I mean, I'm all for it. I do some hiking every now and then. As far as bushcraft in general, I mean, I don't practice it realistically, but I'm an advocate for it because it's a skill set that people need to learn. Because only bushcraft.
Start a fire. You know, do you have a ferrocerium rod? Let me just ask you that.
Well, even in hunting in general, because there will be a day where the shit gets the fan, and you're not going to be able to buy the meat at the market, and you're going to have to go hunting yourself. And try sighting in the scope that day.
Yeah, that's too late. But I mean, do you have a ferrocerium rod, for example? Let me just ask you that. Okay, good.
I got a pack set up that I have with a bladder and the whole fucking hydration setup with a lot of kind of get out there and survive kind of setup. But I don't practice much. I'm like some of my religion. I'm a horrible Catholic. But
yeah, I got you. Yeah, you're kind of preparing for if you have to, but you don't really want to.
It's hard when you're surrounded by two women all day. My 12-year-old thinks she's 40, and my wife, who's way past 40.
But that's the demographic that really needs to, learn how to cook outdoors, what plants to use that you can use for cooking, that you can eat, how to start a fire even in the rain. And there's always sleeping in a hammock so you're not on the rocks. And
I actually bought a cot.
I like cots.
Air mattress. But Sophie, are you into the bushcraft stuff or kind of outdoors?
Yeah, I'm into both. My stepson is the one that's into guns. He collects guns. He loves knives too, but he's an avid believer in guns.
But then she said there was a 1.5 year wait at the range there.
Yeah, there's a 1.5 year wait at our local gun ranges.
Do you follow YouTube channels that are in the bushcraft kind of stuff?
Yeah. That's how I met Hawaii, was through Fox Company prepping, and I really like Canadian Preppers channel too for the psychological aspects of it. But I studied in my 20s. I studied medicinal plants with 2 different herbalists. So I know how to go out in the bush and collect plants and make medicines even in the bush. I know how to field dress in the bush. I know a lot about anatomy and how to and first aid, and those are my passions. Those are my big passions. And I live basically, I live outside of a small town, and so I'm pretty rural, and I have a wood stove, so I chop my own wood, and if I want to stay warm and dry and all that. So I'm pretty well versed in the outdoors. I know how to start a fire. I know how to set up my camp, all that good stuff. And I'm into archery. I always liked bow and arrow. I like slingshots, like that sort of thing. So aim and shoot. I know how to field dress animals. I want to get into tanning hides too. That's going to be my next thing is because we have a local guy that does all that for the hunters here, but I'd rather learn how to do it myself. So it's a good skill.
You think is there money in making leather like that?
Well, it'd just be a good skill. Like I know how to field dress, my own kills. So why not learn how to skin the animal completely and how to stretch it out, do all the washing of it and blah blah
Yeah,
blah, all that.
well, you have to do it. Do you have enough property so you can do it away from your
Yeah.
house so it doesn't smell?
Yeah.
Because I know
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
some
But I
chemicals
mean,
involved.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd probably have to get my son out here and keep
Are you gonna get
six
it-
all
are you-
night with the gun. I mean,
Are you gonna do leather working when you get all that leather? You're just gonna.
I'll make. Yeah, I think I'll make my own shit out of it. Yeah.
Cool.
So in other words, you're like the Canadian Leatherface, but you're a woman.
Well, just I'd like to make my own buckskin jacket and whatever, or
Just
my
joking,
own.
you-
Yeah, but it's just a good skill. It's just a good skill to know, because when you think about it, if there's like a breakdown in society and you can't buy clothes anymore, you can't buy anything anymore. So you're totally self-reliant for your own food, for your own medicine, for your own clothes, for your own gear.
Well, it's funny you say that because I remember a movie. Hawaii probably remembers the movie. It's called the Yearling. You remember that movie, Hawaii?
Yeah.
Is that a movie?
It's a long
Yeah.
time ago, so I'm trying to.
Old movie, but I saw it once and I just couldn't stop watching it. And it's funny because back in the day, like your mom had to make your clothes, unless you went to a general store and ordered something out of a catalog. And the Gregory Peck is like the dad. And it's about the movie's about a deer that the boy befriends and becomes a nuisance eventually, and is affecting their crops and whatnot. But there's a scene where the dad has to wear the dress while the mom's tailoring it and fixing it, and then the boy walks in. He's like, "Hey, Dad, you looking mighty good, Dad." He's all pissed as shit because he has to wear the dress that his wife's dress while she's tailoring it to her, and because she can't wear it and he doesn't want to tailor or at a stitch. It's just a hilarious scene if you're watching. It's a really good movie because the movie has such a great cinematic. The cinematography is just awesome. You see, back in the day, you see like water bottles, to get shades and shit with like dye in them, to get effects. And it's such great cinematography. I mean, the kid in the movie is like, fuck, I think he died like 6 years ago, and he was like 80 something. That's how old the movie was.
Well, Gregory
plus-
Peck was a good
Yeah.
actor too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that too. Gregory Peck was a legend. I mean, he was just, in To Kill a Mockingbird, he was like, that was
I
just
remember
epic.
him in the movie The Gunfighter.
Yeah, that too.
That was the movie where the girls, all of the girls that were his fan base that liked to watch him in the movies were upset because he actually had a mustache and they liked him with a clean face instead.
Like with a mustache.
And they liked him with a clean face, not the mustache, and clean shaven. But the line I remember that is the scene I remember the most from that movie is when the kid comes in with two tied down guns into the bar, and Gregory Peck's character is just sitting there, at the table minding his own business, and the kid wants to get a rep, so he goes up to him and says, "Draw," and Gregory Peck says, "Yeah, I don't have to draw against you. I've had a gun pointed at you ever since you walked into the bar.
Ah,
All I've got to do is squeeze."
I've had my beat on you.
And so because Gregory Peck's hands are under the table, and then he calls him a low down, for not giving him aren't you going to give me why don't you give me a fair chance in a fair fight, and then I'll see who's the fastest gun. He says, why should I give a dumb kid like you a fair fight? Just back out of the bar, or I'll fill you full of holes.
I love that, fill you full of holes. That's classic.
So the kid backs out of the bar, and after he insults Gregory Peck's character, and after the kid, he says he stops at the edge of the bar, and Gregory says, "All the way out, get all the way out." Gets the kid
is mad. He has 2 tied down guns. So after he leaves the bar, Gregory Peck finally takes his hands out from under the table, and the whole time he just was whittling a piece of wood with a pocket knife, a folding knife. He never had his guns out.
See, my favorite like Western scene is from Outlaw Josie Wells' very end, when the guy, the headhunters, the bounty hunters check, like, he's kind of bounty hunter or something. Man's got to do something for a living.
Yeah.
Dying ain't much of a living. And then he walks out, and then he comes back. I just got to know. I figured you do. I figured you did.
No, he said, I have to come back, is what he said. I had to come back.
Something like that. Yeah. And then they got that. I figured you did.
I know.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, but we were talking about Gregory Peck, and so that was my favorite scene from the gunfighter, because he bluffed him out. And the lesson I just learned from that is that the thought of a gun is in somebody's mind is more scary than actually having one pointed at you. And you can psychologically just all I have to do around my condominium is wear my AK Operators Union T-shirt. And people are scared, and I it's just people that particularly have an axe to grind against me, they're afraid to talk.
I wear my Glock T-shirt that I have go around people, and I remember I was at the Lucky Eagle Casino in Eagle Pass, and people were like, "Hey, nice shirt." All right, cool. Yeah, I got a little something to go with it. Yeah.
Accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't like open carry my Glock around, but I open carry my T-shirt,
Yeah. That's good advertising. It works on people. Like lines like that and bluffing like that works on people. It would not work on the bears in my front yard.
But yeah, you can't psychologically deal
I
with
can't
the bear
psych
by,
them out. Like I
with a
can't
T-shirt.
go, hi, here's my Glock T-shirt. I mean, no.
I saw a video where on Facebook where like these
Well, people are dumber than animals, which is the whole point of that meme,
there's these dogs getting pissed as shit, and they're all like 2 dogs, 3 dogs, one small one, 2 decent sized dogs, barking and raising Cain in the corner of the yard, and all of a sudden he's this big ass bear, it almost like a grizzly. It jumped on the top of the fence and was like hanging on like a fence at the top there. And they scared off a big ass bear. The bear was afraid of the damn dogs.
Yeah, I saw a video like that where this tiny little dog chased away a bear. It was a small little, just a bark. It started chasing the bear, and so if it's chasing you, you run. I guess if you're an animal. But
shit, I saw a video where the fucking cat got chased off an alligator. They're swatting on the head in Florida or Louisiana. Just swatting it, and the alligator's like, fuck this, I'm out. It was a big ass alligator too. It was a big ass gator. It wasn't no like baby gator.
It probably just never seen a cat ever before.
Or never seen the outside of a cat.
Man. Well, is there anything else we need to talk about on the Second Amendment or current events or?
Yeah, what's Trump's take on? He's pro Second Amendment, isn't he? He's pro guns.
He says so. He's got endorsed by the NRA.
Oh, really? Cool.
He's made a declaration that people are sharing on Facebook, basically saying that he's gonna
National Carry Act. Yeah,
he's gonna go after the bullshit executive orders that have been passed. He's gonna he's not gonna pass any more stupid gun laws, and the gist of it was that, and that he's gonna emphasize people's right to carry, because
the most important thing he can do is appoint a conservative, Supreme Court justices.
Yeah, well,
he one opening.
Did he win the seats for the Supreme Court justice? The
president gets to appoint them, so. We've got one opening right now that needs to be filled, so he just has to appoint a conservative, and it'll get approved by Congress.
Sorry.
No, well, the good thing is that he won the presidency. He retained the majority power in the Senate and the Congress. So it's all uphill for him for the most part, assuming everybody wants to get on the gravy train and do something and be effective, not fight him as they did amongst his winning the candidacy of the Republican Party and so on, and trying to shame him. So
nobody believed he could win. First of all,
I did.
I did, but reluctantly, because I'm like, if he won the candidacy of the Republican Party, which I never thought he could ever win, I was like, I don't know where it's going next, realistically. And that's why this is such an unconventional election process that happened.
Yeah, it was definitely historic.
Yeah, it was insane. I never want to go through an election like that again.
Well, I think a lot of people, there was eyes all over the world. I was seeing newspaper headlines from, all over Europe and whatnot. Everybody had their eyes on this election because it's, even though, it's a separate country from mine, but most Canadians live near the border, right? We live closer to the U.S. than we do, like, say, way up north, right?
You don't want to get a lot of illegal American immigrant liberals crossing your border.
No, we don't. They can stay down there because we got guns up here. I mean, really, and bears and nutcases. So really, no. Keep the celebrities. The celebrities can stay down there. We don't want them. We don't want them neither. I mean, people have to deal with it. That's the bottom line. They got to suck it up. A lot of people didn't like Obama getting in. Everybody had to suck that shit up too, right? So it's and I think that
we just Trump, America got busy buying guns and ammo and just in case, and
the Canadians did too, because that last, like I was telling you, like that last gun show up here in Victoria was packed. It was like just people, like the parking lots are just packed, people coming and going, and inside it was just like wall to wall people. So it's a good thing that he got in. I'm really hoping he's going to make a lot of good changes. People are going to have to keep his feet to the fire though too, make sure that he does what he says he's going to do.
Right on. My message to anybody out there, Americans and Canadians in general, is keep fighting for your rights. Canada, I know a lot of people that are pro-gun, mainly rifle people for the most part.
Yep.
But that being said, I mean, it all starts with you, and it starts somewhere. So you got to figure that out and get a progressive movement that's gonna help you change people's opinions. That hey, we've been friends all our, any Canadian out there that knows other Canadians, been friends for a long, long time. Just wielding guns for a long, long time. Why are we being deprived of the ability to defend our property and defend ourselves? and falling into that mindset that it's just the way it is. You can fight it. I know that your latest what's his title?
Trudy,
what's his title?
Prime Minister.
That it seems like that's the tide that's falling. But he's a young guy. God knows what he's going to do with you. And we'll see. But
his dad was prime minister in my lifetime, so he's got experience there. But yeah, he's a real young guy. And the thing too, though, Edge, is that what happens down there, what happens with you guys with laws, it affects what happens. It eventually comes up here. So like after the Patriot Act was signed, we got our own version of it, not very long after.
Monkey see, monkey do.
So but hopefully the gun laws though, they might affect our gun laws up here, and we won't have to keep our ammo and our guns locked up separately and blah blah blah. And maybe we can have more.
That sounds like a San Francisco law that they passed there, and then they passed it in Canada after they passed it in San Francisco. It's like that gun control shit catches on like wildfire, and I think I I mean, I sent the email to like my local politician, but really, I think the main point we have to get out to politicians that got reelected that are Democrats is like, it's no longer politically expedient to vote for gun control because you will lose votes in every election because Second Amendment people always are like one issue voters and they vote against gun control people, political candidates. So you don't gain votes anymore by voting for gun control. You lose votes by voting for gun control.
Right.
And you can't, instead of arguing with them over whether it works or not, just tell them you lose votes every time. It's been proven. Look at this last election. Even if you won because you're living in like my state, which is all Democrats now in the Senate, you know, you can lose an election by pissing off gun owners because they will vote as a block for anybody else who doesn't. They'll just not vote for somebody who voted for gun control. You know, so it's no longer politically expedient to vote for gun control. It loses you votes in every election.
Guns are going to happen whether they like it or not. I mean, it's better to have them, you know, legal, but not so tightly controlled like San Francisco or up here, and then to have them on the black market. So they can take their pick, right?
Well, there have always been legacies in Canada. I mean, Keith Sutherland's grandfather is Tommy Douglas, who basically created the health. He's like Canada's top #1 guy of all time. Whatever you got.
Yeah, he's very famous. Yeah, and I mean, our country was founded on guns. You know, I mean, it was
God and guns.
Well, I mean, because it was all fur traders, trappers, hunters. You couldn't survive here without a gun. You just couldn't. I mean, that was how you got your food on the table every night.
And put your clothes on your back and everything.
Put the buckskins on your back and be able to trade for other things that you needed. And so you had. I mean, there's places still in Canada where you wouldn't want to go out there without a gun. Between the cougars and the bears and the moose and whatever, I mean, you'd be dead. You'd be bear meat, like seriously.
I don't know. The dirty Quebecans.
Quebecois.
Quebecois.
Yep. Yeah, but hey, have you, Edge? Have you seen that series Alone? You know, where they put the guys on the island to survive, but separately.
They all go crazy, I think.
And see who tops out first, or who tops out last is the winner. And it was like, I forget how much.
I'm gonna have to check that out for sure. But no, I mean, because all those reality shows, like even the Bear Grylls guy, they're like, it was revealed that like, they stay in like decent little hotels, you know, in the midst.
Not these guys. Not these guys, because these guys were shipped in. They were boated in. Like if you watch season 1 of Alone, that was where that's my island where I live, but it's like very north of the island from me. But I know the native band who got the contract to boat them in. So those guys were, and they thought they were nuts for staying out there with no guns, like seriously. And so they were actually out there. Like they were not in a hotel. They were not in, they were actually in. They actually had only 10 things that they could bring with them, besides their first aid kit, and I think they had a sat phone in case of emergency and a couple of flares, and
in case you're getting eaten by a bear. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Hello, I'm being eaten by a bear. So let me make a phone call.
Bears. There were bears right outside their tents at night for a couple of them and stuff. But it's just a matter of you got to know.
Well, anything's better than that. I'm almost rather have bears than the guys who were doing that Naked and Afraid in Africa that had lions outside of their tent. That was
I heard
stupid.
Naked and Afraid was a bunch of crap though too.
Well,
Well,
the ones in that when they were in Africa, that didn't seem like crap to me when they had lions. You know, they
Yeah.
had a herd of
Yeah.
lions out, or pride of lions outside of their tent
that
at night.
movie I saw last, I forget what it was, about this bear that hunts down that couple. I forget what it was called, and he eats the boyfriend first, and then he doesn't let the girlfriend go. Man, just
Oh,
chase
the
that.
Grizzly Man.
Which one was that?
I think it was that Grizzly Man where she was trying to like beat the bear with a frying pan, and then it just kept eating the dude.
Yeah, and then eventually like, he just stalks her and won't let her go. You know,
Yeah.
won't let her in peace. And like, hey, you eat my boyfriend. You know, chill out.
But that was a rogue bear, and the stupid thing about that is like because it was based on a true story
Yeah.
about this guy that used to go up north and in Alaska or whatever, and he used to hang around grizzly bears, and he was always like, "Look at me, look how cool I am! I can just hang out here without a gun."
No, I
In
know
Montreal.
I know what you're talking about. This is a different story. This is like a movie.
Oh, okay.
This one I know what you're talking about. He actually made a documentary where eventually, him and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But no, this was a movie they made where like this bear is just like picks up on their scent and won't let them live, and they're all like freaking out, kind of, and blah blah. It's kind of like POA or whatever, and they won't. The bear won't let her go, and she like literally has to like. She's beat up the shit, has to fight off this bear, and eventually escapes.
Well.
Okay, that's enough of bears eating people.
Well, it's that or it's claws in Hillary's crotch. Take your pick.
You don't want to be that.
We're gonna either way. You're gonna have nightmares tonight. Okay.
I wanted to close
Get
out
over
with.
it.
There's this one guy on Fox Company Prepping that runs Wessex Blades, and he makes blades. And just so happened that last night I was watching. Speaking of Wessex, I was watching the History Channel, and it was about King Alfred it was called the Viking Apocalypse, and so basically the Vikings come in because it's cold as hell up in Norway or whatever, and they conquer all the kingdoms except for Wessex, and so the main Viking guy, I forget his name, goes to Ireland to conquer Ireland. He leaves this other Viking in charge of finishing off Wessex, and there's one king left, and that's King Alfred, and who is hiding in waiting till spring so he could form an army in the southernmost part of England, which is Wessex, and the Vikings take over his castle at Chippington, and they just camp out there, and the Vikings send out hunting parties to try and find him because they don't have enough food to send out the whole army, and feed them in the field. So they just sent out small bands looking for this guy, King Alfred, and so he basically has like 100 loyal, very good mercenary bodyguard, his personal bodyguard, not mercenaries, and so they're all experienced hunters, and they the Vikings have ring armor, chainmail armor with little rings in it, so the King Alfred doesn't want to wait and let these Vikings find him, so they set up they take, since all of his bodyguard are like professional hunters, and that's what they do when they're not being his bodyguard, is they need to change their arrows from like broad heads to like thin arrows that can go through the ring mail, because the rings get stopped by the rings will stop wide broad heads, but so they make the arrows thin, really thin and pointy, so they go through the ring mail, and then they just track them, and he defeats the hunting parties that are sent out after him, and then he just waits until spring. Waits to the winter, because he knows that the people that took over his castle are going to run out of food, feeding a whole army there, and he figures that the only place they can go, the nearest place they will go to get food, is a royal estate, I think in Eddington. So he just his guys, he raises an army, and he waylays the whole Viking army after the winter. They come out in the spring, and they go to this castle to get food, this royal estate, but they can't make it there. They get waylaid by King Alfred, and Alfred chases them all the way back to his original castle at Chippington, and the Vikings blockade themselves in there, but they don't have any food. So instead of attacking the castle, King Alfred just waits, outside, doesn't let anybody out from the castle to go hunting or eat any food. So the Vikings just, in the end, they have to surrender because they're starving.
Right.
But instead of killing them, in the medieval way, he says, I'll accept your surrender and let you live on the condition that you convert to Christianity. And so the Vikings all convert to Christianity because he figured that the problem with the Vikings was that they had a different culture, the Norse gods. But if they shared the same religion, then he would have an ally instead, or at least somebody who wouldn't, want to attack them all the time, and come back later. And so he was the first king who, that's how the Anglo-Saxon thing came about, is when he converted the first Vikings to Christianity. And so, which was pretty unusual. So that made me think of Wessex Blades, but and because they talked about how they all King Alfred's bodyguards all had long swords, but they won by inventing those thinner arrowheads that could pierce the rings of chainmail.
Right.
They went into all that, and I thought it was interesting that modern body armor will not stop an arrow. So, but you can stop a bullet, but it won't stop an arrow. So
Right.
It's just
I love archery.
yeah. So it's something I'm gonna have to get into one of these days. But the local gun shop dealer is funny that his he had bought like $3,000 worth of real lightweight body armor for himself and his wife, but his wife said, $3,000? Are you fucking crazy? And she made him sell it. So
Really?
Well,
yeah.
have you ever seen those T-shirts say "I'm a bomb technician"? If you see me running, try to keep up. So I feel the same way. I feel the same way if like you're in the woods with the tracker, and all of a sudden he sees some bear poop. He realizes that he ate a human, and he starts running. And you're like, yeah, I better keep up with that guy.
I'd say.
All right. So anybody before we wrap this up? I don't know how many hours this has been going. Is there anything else wants to plug on their channel or anything that we haven't plugged so far, or plug it again before we close it out?
Well, I do a chat every Friday night at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. For the most part, it's gun oriented. It's called Edge of the Week Gun Chat. It's on gun channels, if you remember gun channels. Hopefully you are checking out. Last week, I understand what happened. We didn't get any viewers. There's an issue where the broadcast somehow didn't go live when it should have. And it did record, but didn't go live. So all the swear words I curse all the people in gun channels. I apologize. I'm over it. I'm moved back.
Oh, okay. I did give G-Web some shit about some stuff, but but I think he's forgiven me more or less. I just said I spoke my mind, and that was it. But so I do think we ought to have gun channels ought to have a best gun video of the month contest. Because I think everybody on gun channels needs to get out there and make some gun videos. Because first of all, it's fun and creative, but that's what I like doing. And I don't want it to be, I don't think the community and gun channels should just be just live chats. Live chats are fun, but hey, I like watching gun videos too. And bushcraft videos. And I'm going to watch some of Sophie Daly's medicinal garden playlists. So gets a little bit of education on for when I do sell my condo and get a volcanic mountain survivalist retreat up there.
Well, you got some beautiful medicinal plants all around you there. So yeah.
Well, I don't know. I do know that from what I saw in the Viking things, they were always having mushroom stews before battle to
take on the power of bears over animals, and basically they would go on, psychedelic, hallucinatory,
That's
combat
a
trips.
load of, if you talk to botanists and whatever, that's a very hazy area, whether that actually took place or not, because they were, just put it this way, there was a big push on in the 60s to get everybody all looped out on psychedelics, mushrooms,
You mean the
acid,
History
whatever.
Channel had something on the Viking apocalypse that
No,
wasn't
no.
actually true?
No. Oh, gee, imagine that. Eh? Like, wow.
Don't shatter my Viking History Channel.
I love the Vikings. Like, yeah, but get the facts straight.
They had a show on the Berserkers about that, how Viking Berserkers.
Yeah, but I mean, medicinally, like historically, a lot of the mushrooms weren't used for some like God finding vision quest. They were usually used as some kind of like poison, so you could commit suicide and shit like that. Like it's pretty fucking dark. I wouldn't, because not that it would, the mushrooms would kill you, but just so you'd have suicidal thoughts, right? So it's there's a lot of misinformation out there about how plants were used in the past, especially psychedelics. So I don't know. I focus mostly on what you can use in the field, like right there. You can just like chew it up, slap it on you, stop bleeding, or you can make at home. You can make your own preps at home.
So you don't have a video on how to transform yourself into a Viking berserker?
Fuck no. I wish though. I'd like to transform myself into a Viking berserker. I would, yeah. But but only with one of those old ninja, the ninja swords, the ones the straight ones before they came out with the curved ones.
Oh, you don't like scimitars? It has to be a ninja. So you have to be a katana only.
Man, have you ever studied ninjas? Yes. Those guys were the.
No, but I have some caltrops.
They were the snot. Like, I mean, just think, you're all in black. You can scale walls. You've got like smoke bombs, poison, arrows. They're so stealthy. No one hears you coming. No one sees you coming. Next thing you know, you're dead.
I'm a modern day cowboy. I need my semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah, but you could do that too, though. You could be a ninja with your semi, and
double
you can sneak in.
Well, I have karambits.
You know it, and boom, you've taken them out and shot up the whole house.
Well, Sophie, I got to ask you, since you're big into prepping and bushcraft, all that outdoor stuff, you ever heard of bear prepper?
Bear prepper? No.
It's
that's a channel.
It's she's a local person in San Antonio as well. It's Bears, BXAR, like the county, Bear County.
Yeah.
Bear prepper, and she's big into like all the the ovens, solar ovens, and planning your own stuff and making your own food. And
I do that too.
Making like you're making your own sodas and this and that to save money, all kinds of stuff she does.
Yeah, make my own. I make my own laundry soap. Make all that stuff. Yeah, I do that too. Prep all my food. Make all my own dehydrated meals. All that. Yeah.
So you said you're in your mid-20s. Is that what I understood?
No. I was talking about when I was in my 20s. No. I'm in my 50s now.
That's
I've been around. I'm an oldie.
The older you get, the smarter you get.
Got to, because the body starts breaking down, so you got to use the brain, right?
Well.
Stick the horde.
So we also have, who else do we have? We have Jimmy James runs the early watch Gun Channel's show. I know it's Monday through Friday. in the morning. Are
yeah,
you on
Monday-
weekends too?
No, Monday through Friday. Sometimes if there's not a lobby chat going on Sundays, I'll run one. I'll just open up one. I did one last week. It was my first time. But yeah, Monday through Fridays, early watch, gun channels and YouTube. It's gonna be 6 a.m. on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. We start and run it all the way up to the Daily Gun Show.
I need
What's
to know that
what's
it's
your
a live
handle
one.
on YouTube, Jimmy?
Jimmy James, and if you put in it's 2 words, and if you put in Jimmy James and then gun channels right next to it, I should be the first video that pops up.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I already put I already subbed you there, Edge. So
Yeah, sub Jimmy. And
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
actually, you
you
know
do
what?
that.
I mean, I got your YouTube up right here. I subbed you, so
oh, cool.
it should be easy to find me.
I don't usually
Yep.
lend my celebrity status to.
Oh yeah,
chat.
early watch. Yeah.
well,
But,
it's good, easy for me because I get up and it's the first chat on, and it's not technically a lobby chat because I'm getting tired of lobby chats with Flippy. But you know, not that he's a bad guy; he's a good guy. But it's just you know, I like doing the early watch show for some reason. So you know, I
Well, we
can
try
have
to
my
keep topics going, try to keep the dead air to a bare minimum if we
yeah,
can.
you have
know.
topics. I mean, that's not easy to come up with new topics all the time. I mean, I just went with this horse thing because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for listening and tuning in. If you're watching on a podcast or on YouTube later, you shoot us a thumbs up and a share if you can. And God bless America. How does it go, Edge? Keep your...
Well, I have to say something before I say that and close out. But I have to tell everybody, hey, next time you go to your next place, you're going to stay at a hotel, say Ed 4006 sent you. You might get kicked out, but you're going to do it with pride. I mean, you tell them I've been kicked out of better shitholes than this. All right? Let them know. I've been in better places, and I know Edge.
When you check into the, Bellagio or Venetian Hotel, say, Edge 4006 sent me.
Yeah, right. No, as they pursue this, walk you out to the lobby.
As they press the button where you fall into the dungeon.
About the property, you let them know, you know what? Gun channels won't have none of this.
Gun channels will be back. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I am here, and you should fear.
I'm here and you should care. I love that.
That being said, I can close it out. Edge 4006 signing out. Fight the good fight, and keep your goose tight, brother.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Thanks again. See you next week. God bless
Okie doke.
America.
Later, guys.